1819 News.
A doctoral student at the University of Alabama has now flown back to his country of origin, Iran. Alireza Daroidi has been held at an ICE detention center in Louisiana ever since his arrest at the University of Alabama this past March. The student visa for Daroidi had expired. Daroidi was also accused by the U.S. State Department of posing a significant national security concern. The attorney for Daroidi, David Rosas, revealed in court a few weeks ago that his client decided to leave the U.S. since it was apparent that the U.S. government no longer wanted him in the country. Rosas contends that there was no evidence produced by the U.S. government to confirm their claims of Daroidi being a security threat, nor did Daroidi have a history of protesting or political activity either in Iran or the U.S. Rosas says that Daroidi was denied bond from the ICE facility and had to endure legal proceedings that were filled with delays and contradictions. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Did you know that 70% of people experience a potentially traumatic event in their lifetime, and that 6 out of every 100 adults face PTSD every day? Help us bring hope to these survivors by signing up for your Alabama Distinctive PTSD Awareness License Plate today. The great thing is you can sign up no matter when your current plate renews, and the first year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at atease.org.
The Alabama Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries, Rick Pate, has officially announced his plan to run in the lieutenant governor's race in 2026. Pate will be completing his 2 terms in office at the Department of Agriculture and is therefore term limited. Pate says that he's bringing hands-on leadership to this lieutenant governor race after working the land, running a business, and serving his neighbors. Pate grew up at his family's cattle farm in Lowndes County. He served as the mayor of Lounsboro for 14 years and was elected as commissioner in 2018. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. When you call Alabama Home Mortgage, you will immediately see the difference in pricing. Not only do we offer the most competitive rates, but our closing costs rank among the lowest in the industry. How do we do it? Because we can. We do not have the overhead that big banks and lenders do. Those big banks and lenders have big expenses. And what do? They pass those expenses along to you. Meanwhile, here at Alabama Home Mortgage, we receive wholesale rates which result in big savings that we pass along to you. Don't pay more for less. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our rates and pricing are just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is the Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
Fat broads and horse-faced lesbians.
Shut up, silly woman.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program. Beautiful day. Well, a little steamy. It's starting to get hot here in Montgomery, Alabama. So maybe bring back the rain to cool it down again. Plenty to get to today. Trump blasts Rand Paul for being Rand Paul. So we'll see where that goes. We'll get into all those details. But it seems Trump has flipped another Senator, Josh Hawley, who had other concerns. And, of course, it's still a good day to say no, just say no to World War III. And I don't want NATO dragging us into this. Now, it looks like yesterday we had Troy Carrico on. He was saying this has all the hallmarks of Mossad. But it seems like there are reports that this was MI6. This was British intelligence. In fact, the Russians killed somebody along with Ukrainians in Russia. And they're like, yeah, we think it was a British operative who helped facilitate all this. We can get into the details of how Palantir, what do they even do, is expanding the surveillance state, or really just making the surveillance state smarter Is that a good idea? I don't know. We also have besties for the resties. Senator Katie Britt and Senator John Fetterman, they're teaming up. And they've decided that they want to slap warning labels and links to mental health help on social media platforms or something. Coach Tuberville's promising Trump, we're going to have a nice conservative replacement. I don't know how he's going to guarantee that. But I guess Steve Marshall is the one currently leading in the current field that's announced for that open Senate seat. And, we'll figure out whatever else we need to cover today. Both Eddie Bader and Byron Sheehy here in the studio with me. How you two gentlemen doing today?
Bye.
Just all right?
Bye.
I like that new shirt.
Yes, they're very comfortable.
And it's business in the front, party in the back?
Yep.
It's kind of wrinkly.
Turn around real quick. Byron hadn't seen it. It is a little wrinkly, though.
It is a little bit wrinkly.
See, yeah, like party in the back.
Nice. We got any tie-dye?
Next time I
red,
buy
white, and blue?
T-shirts, I've got to buy the kind that don't wrinkle so much.
And who's Hannah?
Hannah's my business partner.
Oh,
She's
okay.
my fellow realtor.
The person who does most of the work, probably.
Yeah, I
She
should
is the
know
marketing genius behind this campaign. Yeah, I'll give her that. But I mean, the picture is it's me. I mean, come on, guys. Everybody's looking at me. Come on.
But I mean, I don't even know where to begin. Here's where I do want to begin. It's coming up where everybody's announcing for all these campaigns, especially here in Alabama for 2026. And there's a part of me, I know there are people out there that appreciate, like we just interviewed Mr. Pendergrass, not Teddy. I wish.
Man, come on.
Joshua Pendergrass. Josh, who's running for state auditor.
Right.
And like Andrew Sorrell, he's the current state auditor. He's running for Secretary of State. He'll be here this upcoming Monday, guest hosting the show.
Cool.
But there's a part of me that as I'm getting more and more requests to like have people on who are running, that like I don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And partly it's like, I'll put it this way, and I feel this way now about Senator Britt, about Senator Tuberville, about folks I even like Barry Moore and Gary Palmer, and not that I don't like Katie Britt and Tommy Tuberville. I like them.
Mm-hmm.
But it always seems like public conversations with all these folks, whether they're in office or they're running for office, they're so damn fake. And there's part of me that just wants to, I feel like I'm going to lash out at the fakeness and it's going to come across as very rude. But there's a part of me that doesn't even want to entertain this anymore.
They should probably think about putting some mental health labels on some of their campaign materials so after they renege on the word.
But you know where I'm coming from?
100%.
Yeah, it's like, okay, here, let's hit your talking points and I'll hit my talking points so we can get all the PR and the message out there that we want, all the disciplined messaging.
Well, this is a dual-edged sword here. You're too polite. You're too nice on some of the questions that you ask.
Yeah, maybe I just need to be rude.
That would probably cause people a little trepidation about whether they want to come sit in the hot seat and take some questions.
Well, damn, then you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
I don't know, man. Maybe to be better content, put them on the hot seat, make them squirm.
Maybe
do the wing thing, the hot wings challenge with them.
Yeah, get them to let their guard down.
Right, they're eating the hot wings with hot sauce, and then you bust one on them. Right when that hot wing is just like burning their face. It's hard to lie then.
Hot wings, a couple of beers, you might get the truth in. Man.
Yeah, here's the bomb beyond insanity. It tastes metallic.
Yeah,
and it's awful. You have to take a little bit of this, little dab will do you. And then answer my question.
Yeah, and then you just spring it on them.
But I feel like I don't know. I don't know if I'm prepared. Maybe I need to take like a few day vacation to just refresh or something.
Don't get me going.
I'm thinking around July 4th time period. Go see my brother in Nashville once they're moved.
You'll even know, Joey.
What are you doing?
We got a house in Jamaica for that week.
Oh, for
the 28th
the 4th
through the 5th or 6th. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He did say we.
Yeah, well, no, he's talking about
I'll be
his
honest,
lovely wife.
my wife and bringing my mother-in-law. But it's a 4-bedroom house, so if somebody wants to go, they can call me.
JoJo.
Airfare is not cheap. It's only like $1,000 for airfare. But dude, and it's got a chef. It's got a pool. You're on the water.
No, my brother and his wife are moving to Nashville this month.
Oh,
and it's my brother's birthday today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, the 23rd, I think. They're moving from Greenville, South Carolina to Nashville, Tennessee. She got a fellowship there at Vanderbilt.
Good
deal.
deal.
Like real serious doctor, but she has another test. Like, how many tests do you have to take, woman?
What kind of
to be a real doctor? It's
Yeah.
board. She has to do board certification. She is the NICU, the neonatal unit.
Thank
How
yeah,
do they-
baby doctor.
How do they test her?
Oh, it's beyond
I
me,
mean, I
man.
couldn't
I don't
imagine,
know.
yeah.
I don't even know where to begin. I just know it's like test after test. And I talked to him yesterday, wished him an early happy birthday. And he said, yeah, she's got another graduation coming up. But then they moved it to where all guests had to pay to be there. And we were also kind of feel like the whole family's like, how many graduations you got? Because I went to the one where she graduated from medical school in Dothan.
Yeah.
And it's
That's a
great.
good one,
My sister-in-law is awesome. I love her very much. But maybe I'll just go see them in Nashville for much of the week of
Nashville's
July
great,
4th.
dude. Now,
I've never been.
They already found a house, and they
Yeah,
got a
never been.
rent and all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Man, Nashville real estate
It's
market's pretty
expensive.
hot, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
You're
beautiful,
talking
man.
thousands to rent.
Yep.
Yeah. And plus they got a baby. They got 2 dogs. They wanted a backyard.
Might
it's
be right
good.
outside of Nashville then.
It's not in the city proper, but it's still expensive.
Oh, there's no doubt, man. That's a hot place right
And
now.
you think like, oh, she's a doctor. And I'm like, have you heard of student loans?
That's the thing about doctors. When they're young, I never understood why are doctors so poor when they're young. And I realized it's the student loans. It's everything else. Yeah. It's when they get older. If they make it past the threshold, then they might start making some money.
Yeah, but I mean, so what should I do? It does feel like I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't with all these like interviewing politicians. Like I'm at the point of like, the first question,
Okay.
How is anything you're going to do, even if you're well-intentioned, going to make my life better?
Here's what
Anything.
you could do.
One, name a thing. Not like abstractly or in principle or indirect. No, name a thing.
Do like Trump does. Trump's got that button on his desk. Okay. You get you a big red button and you let him know right off the bat. If I feel your answer is BS, I'll hit the button. You put the
Just
pressure
give that
on.
disclaimer.
Just right up front. And you can tell him, if you're going to give me a BS answer, that's fine. I expect you to hit the button before I do.
Do you want them or do you not want them? I mean, if you want to have the interviews, inform the public.
At this point, it's kind of like,
wait until a
Maybe a
little bit
different
of the
kind of
dust
interview.
settles. If runoffs happen,
Yeah, maybe.
sometime around then.
I mean, and I would love what the listeners like to say, because I know what some of them might say is like, I am too nice.
Mhm.
And I am very deferential. I admit that that's a very conscious thing I do. I try to be deferential to folks, knowing that half the time it's BS, but it's like, well, y'all can hear that. Like, let them say they're BS, and you're smart enough out there listening to go,
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably BS.
People the world we live in today, right or wrong, want to hear somebody else call them out on their BS.
Right. But then there's also the folks that, like, before anybody says a word, it's like, you're full of crap.
Yes.
And it's
yes,
like,
Joey.
now you're just letting out you need a warning label and a mental health hotline. Like, you're just letting out your anger issues. Like, I'm sorry your wife doesn't sleep with you anymore, but stop yelling at the senator.
At least let the question be asked before
Right.
you start screaming.
Right. So it's a balancing act.
What if we did sort of an intro and then just turn it over to the callers and let them ask?
Oh, I've done that. I've
Okay.
done that with the mayor for certain.
And it can go either way. Sometimes when you've done that, it worked out well. Other times it's crickets, which just drives me nuts.
it was
That
interesting.
drives me nuts.
That probably speaks to the office.
Exactly.
They get old chicken.
You know, like if an office isn't a sexy position, then it's not going to, create fanfare, or anyone's attention around it. Like, let's be honest, most people aren't really concerned about who's going to be the auditor.
No,
Most people.
no,
No,
but
most people.
I will say
Well, and actually, those races, I don't mind those interviews because it's pretty straightforward.
that's got to be somebody that really wants to get
It's-
into politics or believe in what they're doing. I
right.
get it.
Yeah, and like the one we just did with Pendergrass, it was just to get to know you. Like, who are you? Well, what's your background?
Mhm.
Like, we'll probably talk later, man. This is months ahead. And it's the lower level offices I don't mind as much. But a lot of these things, like the mayor and the senators and the congressmen, and all, it's a lot of promises, a lot of ideas.
There's different ways to go about this. Like Seinfeld does the whole riding in cars, right? That interview style.
Yeah.
You could do one where you're on a roller coaster.
I don't like roller coaster.
Dang it.
Skydiving? I don't like
Yeah.
jumping out of planes.
I do. That's
You
fine.
do?
Well,
I enjoy
something
that
where
so much fun.
they have an answer that you don't necessarily agree with, there could be instant consequence.
This sounds like now you're letting out your demons.
Well, I'm just saying, if they're not
Like
you don't
shock
feel like they're
therapy,
being-
shock collar.
that's not the worst idea, but
Yeah.
I think that's something you have to lead into.
Right.
But I was thinking like the roller coaster or something of that nature. Where you realize it's the wrong answer, you can go, okay, I think you're full of crap, but I'm nice.
Or like it could be, it's like a drop, like it's a Trump drop. Like
You are a rude, terrible person.
that would be
that's a
pretty
little heated.
good. It
though.
is, but that just for the facial expressions that we'd be able to get from them, that'd be pretty good.
Well, if you think their answer is BS, you just bring out the Lindsey Graham.
It's not just about sex.
It's amazing that he was around during the Clinton impeachment.
I can't.
And now he's over in Ukraine right before, this massive attack.
$400,000 for a weekend hotel bill? Dude, I'm going to Jamaica for a week. It's not costing me near that much.
Your spy is probably not going to be as nice as Lindsay's was.
That's true, too, though. That's very true.
I don't know. Like, I would like to have real conversations where we disagree, and that's fine.
You're not going to have him here.
And it's just, usually it's like, what, you got 10, 15 minutes? How are you going to have a real conversation about, say, a complicated issue, say the rise of AI and how the government might or might not regulate it in 10 minutes?
Yeah, and knowing how the campaigns instruct the candidates to answer.
Right.
I mean, a lot of it is just.
But this is self-government at work. All these restrictions, and like, I get more access than the average person.
Oh, no doubt.
Right.
But this is self-government, folks. This controlled messaging, it's self-government.
I still think there's a better way. Like you said, the 10-minute just interview process is kind of old.
Yes.
I feel like there's a better opportunity to interview people where you're just out of the norm, more where you kind of catch them off guard, where they're not just.
Well, I mean,
like,
it's already you're
ready
like in a broom closet showing up at this studio, so that's a little bit of an adventure.
But I think your challengers need to be offered the platform because they're not going to have the same systemic advantages that incumbents are going to have.
That's fair.
So I definitely think challengers should have a platform. Incumbents, maybe give them less time because they got so many different avenues to get
Well, the
their
incumbents,
message
I
out.
think you tell them, hey, you've got to convince us that you're the king, just like in boxing.
Mhm.
You know, if you and I were to box and I was the champion, if I don't defend that
You're
title,
the
very well,
champion?
Well, if I didn't defend that title
Okay.
very well, then you will take that championship from me,
Sure.
even if I win the battle.
See, but it's decided in the ring or it's decided on the field. How is like a political seat, a political championship decided? Like, I'm able to convince other people enough to.
Yeah, I'm more popular than you.
Yeah.
I just want them to have to be able to answer about certain votes. I mean, they have a record. If you can steer the
another good
conversation
question.
to where you want it to go, I think there's value in that. If it's tails wagging the dog, then it's basically
Waste everybody's time.
It's a radio direct mail piece, man. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a campaign hit piece.
Yeah. And, I've been used. I'm happy to be used. Like, I mean,
use me up.
Great song. It's a good, sometimes motto to live by.
Yes, it is.
In many ways, many aspects of life. And maybe I'm just cranky today. But the more I see it, and I'm getting requests again from folks who are just mean well or whatever. This is how it's done. I'm just like, we're going to do this again. We're going to go through this whole cycle again. Have to go through the same fake BS all over again to where they don't actually do anything.
Let's come up with a really interesting questionnaire, send that to them, and if they answer it, you can deem if it's honest or not, and that should help filter some of the candidates out.
What kind of questions? Are we talking like psychological questions or
Your
like,
call, man.
biography?
Just ask them some stuff that they would be uncomfortable answering and see if they'll be honest with you.
Start with aliens.
I think that's too easy to just be silly about.
Yeah, but you can judge somebody.
Did we land on the moon?
Ooh, Joey, don't get me going. I found some more rabbit holes on that.
Maybe not yes/no questions sometimes. I know that's
Well, that's fair.
Difficult.
Yeah,
to
but the
go
thing
in.
is, when I ask a not yes/no question, and that gives them open room to just talk in a paragraph
And
all
never
around
answer
it.
your question.
Yeah.
That drives me
It's an
insane.
amazing. I have to say, I have respect for that skill. It's quite
It is a
impressive.
skill, but it drives me absolutely insane.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Well, let's go to some calls here. I'd love some feedback. Like, what should we do? Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Twister Jones.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing, Joey?
Good.
Hey, I had a comment on the subject at hand right now.
Sure.
One comment is to remember who your show and your questions and your intelligence is representing. You're representing us, getting information to us so that we can make informed decisions on the people that you have on your show. So therefore you owe us a little bit of intelligence there as to who you pick, whether they say they don't want to come on your show based on your questions. Well, that's actually an answer right there.
Yeah, right.
So, secondly, you might ask them, and I've never heard this approach before, and I've been screaming for it. When you have incumbents on, look up their record of what they've done since when they got voted in and elected the last couple of years, and ask them why did they do what they did, and nail them down to a promise that they made and why it did or did not work out. And then you can offer the new person the opportunity to say what they are going to do. So you get a past, a present, and a future.
I think that's sound. No, and I appreciate it, sir. It's just I know, having done this a few cycles now, that it's frustrating how limited the time is, and I think the goal is to help inform folks and a little bit of entertainment too.
Right.
And also beyond just the content of what they say, getting to know the person and how they carry themselves, I think is also, it goes a long way. I like your idea about nailing them down a little on the record when it comes to the incumbents. Appreciate it.
Well, I'm glad you're looking for a new approach, Joey. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Good luck.
272-9228. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Soldier Boy.
What's up?
Boy.
Hey, let's talk about what you talked about earlier. Nashville. Isn't Nashville being anti-ICE supportive?
I think there is a bit of a fight with the mayor there going on right now. Yep.
And not only the mayor, like the whole community is a bunch of liberals.
Well, I mean,
Correct?
you got the blue dots, the blue cities in the midst of all the red states. That's Nashville, that's Montgomery, that's Atlanta, that's Austin, Texas. I mean, that's any major metropolitan area.
Like this one female friend of mine, she's a liberal. And we go out and do things together socially, you know. And when we go to Capri Theater, man, I feel like I'm isolated, dude, on a little island. Oh, God.
Soldier Boy, I'm always over there in Cloverdale. You're not alone, buddy.
I'm not. Oh, please wear that shirt because I'm a conservative on there. I feel like I'm on this little tiny island, man. I'm like, man, everybody wants to just like ram me a good one, man. I was like, Jesus. And I'm trying to be, you know, nice and hospitable to these individuals. But man, they're very, I'm waiting for them to throw some Molotov cocktails at happy hour at me. A couple, like maybe 14 bottles of it.
Yeah, some of the service industry over there seems like they're super far left.
Well, and also you need to be careful. There's new data out, if you want to trust a study and a poll, that Democrats are the party of the depressed, angry, forlorn, and mentally ill. I think it's kind of universal, but be like, you're more depressed than us is kind of like, yeah, but you still got millions of people that are angry, forlorn.
But they seem to be the party of violence.
Yeah, for the time being, that's certainly
Remember,
true.
who was that guy that almost got shot when he was playing baseball? Was it in the Senate?
Steve Scalise, who was shot.
Yeah, he was shot.
Yeah. Okay. What the hell? These people, and they make it, and they just, and I love it. I love it when they justify. How do you justify violence? I just don't understand.
The ends always
And then
justify the means, man.
The guy that threw the Montel cocktails the other day. Did you hear his comments after he was arrested?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't regret it one bit. I'd do it again.
Oh, no, that guy.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Was he trying to get the...
And he had much more to use, by the way, before they caught him. I think he was going to go on a rampage if they had not caught him.
Oh, he still had what? He only threw 2 Montel cocktails, and he had 14 left.
Yep.
And how many people did he injure with just 2?
Yes.
And it was so sad. It was a couple of people that were seriously injured were elderly, and they were refugees from the Holocaust too. I just couldn't believe that.
Right.
I mean, and you're a Holocaust survivor, and you got to put up with this crap. This is why you came to a free country.
Well, and when you import the world though into that free country, you're going to get the world's problems and divides and these sorts of radicals.
When I was stationed in Germany, I had the opportunity to go to Dachau and Auschwitz. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, you talk about you can still smell death.
Oh yeah.
It is, and for some people on some shows, what was it? Was it Whoopi Goldberg said that the Holocaust was fake? What? That's a movie drop, right?
Or it was something about how it wasn't about race or something, and I'm like, oh really?
Right.
I just don't understand. It was like, look at. I'm glad that they kept it up. Because when you look at it, it can come back to haunt us. And look, isn't it doing exactly that now?
Yes, it seems like a lot of the problems of generations gone. Think about how many people actually remember the war, like personal memory.
There you go.
Not many. And I think we lose some of that living memory. And let's hope we don't have to relearn in the same extreme way. But we're going to have to relearn a lot of lessons of the past. Unfortunately, it's the way of the world.
When I was stationed over there, we were still wearing the Air Force was still wearing our wheel cap hats instead of the flight caps.
Mm-hmm.
And my Uncle Oscar had to fly with towards the end because they just flat out went into your house, man. If you don't fight the war, they were desperate for soldiers,
sure.
that we were going to go ahead and kill you and your family. Mostly they threatened your family. So my Uncle Oscar passes away, and he in his will he asked me to wear my service uniform. Right? Guess what happens when I get there to be one of the pallbearers? His flying squadron's there in their uniform and their Luftwaffe uniforms.
Nice.
And that's just out of respect of being a soldier, nothing to do with being a Nazi,
right?
But being a soldier, and they all wore their flight cap and their jackets and their uniforms, and they were all pallbearers for him, Marvin. And it was on. Guess what he flew? He flew something that was scary, man. Are you familiar with the ME-262?
No.
First operational jet fighter, man. That thing was like a flying gas tank. It's like taking a Caprice Classic, put some wings on it, fill it full of gas to the window, and didn't fly it. So dangerous it was, but it advanced a lot of stuff and flying and everything. But I was just a shock. I didn't even know. You walk in there and you got World War II uniforms. Wow, that was pretty respectful.
Yeah, the world is more complicated than we might make it out to be, especially folks that look at history like it's a Marvel movie, and it's just that simple. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
I've been watching too much Red Skull. What's Red Skull?
Okay, later. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Yeah, I just had to get that off my chest earlier. Like, I am trying to modulate my approach going into this cycle, or else I don't think I'm going to keep my sanity.
You have to laugh sometimes, man. It's like,
sure.
It's like when you're being lied to and you just have to go along with it.
Right. Well, it's like, well, I know y'all care so much about the debt and deficits. Well, today you've got Rand Paul, who is actually standing up for what he said. I'm being elected to stop this train. Now you could say, why have you stopped it, Rand? But at least he's,
stands in the way.
He constantly makes the stand. He stands athwart all these folks, and you have Trump blasting him.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, well, here, I can pull up exactly what Trump said. But so you look at all these promises. We got to, Doge is going to get in there and cut $1 trillion, and they were put on a leash.
I think that this big beautiful bill has too much going on in it. I mean, there's too many competing interests, too much ideology on certain beliefs. Conservatism being one. I mean, the deficit spending, all this. Like some of the fiscal hawks just can't support this, no matter how big and beautiful it is.
Well, and here's what Trump put out today at 9:30 this morning, give or take. Rand votes no on everything, but never has any practical or constructive ideas. His ideas are actually crazy, in parentheses, losers. The people of Kentucky can't stand him. This is a big growth bill.
I don't know if the people of Kentucky can't stand him. They kind of vote him back in every time.
Yeah, and Rand said, no, the people of Kentucky elected me to stand against this crazy debt
I thought so.
that's being packed up.
What's the latest out of the Senate on the bill? Has anyone other than Rand and Halsey or Hawley spoken out? I know Johnson has. Who else is lining up against it?
Hawley's just been flipped. Ron Johnson in particular. No, we'll see. The politicking behind the scenes will continue on. We got to hit a quick break here. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, What do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. I think today could be the hottest day of the week, perhaps with a high temperature 90, maybe above. A good bit of sunshine, and you'll start to feel some more humidity. But I think the radar will be relatively quiet today and this evening, with tonight's low down to about 70. But then tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, rain chances are a little bit better as Atlantic moisture starts to affect the area. Higher humidity and random scattered showers and thunderstorms. Feast or famine, the rain chances a little bit better over the weekend with more storms to go around, but still random. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Joining us over the phone, I mentioned he'll be joining us, I think, next week for more extensive conversation about everything going on in the world, including the great state here. But joining us now, we have the current auditor of the great state of Alabama, Andrew Sorrell. Andrew, how you doing today, sir?
Hey, good afternoon to y'all. Happy to be on with you.
Happy to have you here, and we're here to talk about a particular thing because I did see your conversations with some of the national media about your experience of being debanked. And I know I would love for you to lay that out, but it just where my mind's at, it's amazing that I was seeing Donald Trump Jr. in particular say that the reason they jumped into crypto as the Trump family is because they themselves were debanked. So this is happening from, say, small businesses to some of the largest players in this world.
Yeah, it's not just political figures like myself and Donald Trump and, of course, Nigel Farage, the guy who led the Brexit over in the UK. It's not just us getting debanked. It's millions of everyday Americans who don't have a voice and a platform to go out and maybe get on talk radio. They can't go get bill sponsors easily in the legislature to carry a bill. They can't get interviewed on Fox News like I was able to do to highlight this issue. And that's who I'm trying to speak up for, is say, hey, look, I've got my problem solved. My debanking problem, it was frustrating, but I'm through it. It's over. But I'm speaking up on this issue because I have a friend named Will who's a Bitcoin miner here in Alabama. He's been debanked because he mines Bitcoin. Wow. And, Bitcoin mining is not popular with the woke left because it uses a lot of electricity to secure the network. The Bitcoin mining process, your largest cost is not your equipment, it's your electricity. And that's why Elon Musk ultimately backed away from crypto. He said it wasn't very environmentally friendly. Well, that's what the left believes about Bitcoin. So they're debanking the Bitcoin miners. They're debanking the gun stores, which is what happened to me in my case. They're debanking pro-life centers. They're debanking groups. Remember, they harassed Eagle Forum for years. They wouldn't give Eagle Forum their tax-exempt status for years. That's slightly different, but it's a very similar issue. Becky Garrison, I think, ended up taking that all the way to Supreme Court before she finally got her her tax-exempt status. They wanted her to turn over donors and all kinds of crazy stuff. This is a organized effort by those in power on the left to annoy and harass conservative business owners out of business.
Now, to just put some more meat on the bone, just using your particular example for folks who don't know this story, what does it mean that you and your store were debanked?
So here's how this looks in practicality. So I own Gold Guns and Guitars in Florence and Huntsville. I've been in business for about 10 years. All through the Trump administration, we had no trouble from 2016 to 2020. Well, Joe Biden gets elected, and what happens in 2021? We get a letter from our credit card company, a nationally recognized bank. Now, I won't say the name on the radio, but I'll give you a hint. What's in your wallet? Okay. I get a letter from the What's in Your Wallet company. Your account is being closed in 30 days. No explanation, no chance to appeal, period. We're closing your account, end of story. I'm really confused by this. And my first thought is, my business partner forgot to pay our bill, right? That's the only reason a credit card company would close our account, because they're making money off of us. So I called my partner. He goes, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I set up on auto debit. I didn't forget to pay our bill. I don't know why they're closing our account." So we're really confused. So we go out, we get a different credit card. You know how it is when you have a small business. You have everything auto billed to your credit card.
Right.
You have your stamps.com account. You have your utility. You have your internet. You have to get all that stuff transferred over to another credit card. Inevitably, you forget to transfer something, and then one day you go into work and your internet's been cut off or something. And it's just a huge hassle. You finally get it all resolved. We swapped to a different credit card, and we thought we were good. The next year, 2022, we get a letter from our credit card processor. This is the company that we accept our American Express and Discover and Visa and MasterCard payments through. And they say, we're closing your account in 30 days. Again, very confused. We do $2 million in revenue. $1.5 million of that is credit and debit cards. They're making tens of thousands of dollars in fees off us every year. Why would they close our merchant account with them? Couldn't figure it out. So I went to my local bank, which, by the way, is a great solution to the debanking issue. Go do business with a local bank. They don't do this to people. I went to First Metro Bank in Florence. I'm friends with the owner. I went to high school with his son. I thought if I ever have a problem, I can literally talk to the owner of the bank. Got set up with merchant services, credit card processing, albeit at a higher rate. So now I'm paying more money than I was paying the big national carrier. But whatever, we got that fixed. The next summer, what happened? Well, as you probably guessed, insurance company drops us. Get a letter, we're not renewing your policy. So call my insurance provider. Hey, what's going on? He said, oh, this is happening to all the gun stores. He said, you're being debanked. I'd never heard the term before. What does debanking mean? He explained it, and I said, you're right. That is what's happening to me. Then this is the third time it's happened to me. Then it hit me. So we had to go get insurance from another company. It cost us double, which was nearly $10,000 extra is what we're paying for our insurance now. So 3 different times I've been debanked just because we're a gun store. The federal government under the Joe Biden administration was pressuring these large banks and insurance companies and other companies like credit card processors to divest themselves from politically disfavored entities like gun stores and, again, pro-life centers and Republican clubs and all of that. They don't want your business. They want to cut you off. If they can deny you banking services, they handicap your organization. And that's exactly what happened to me and probably millions of other people in America during the Joe Biden administration.
Yeah, and it's especially in the crypto world, it's very well known about Operation Choke Point 2.0.
Yeah.
And just your own story, the way you described it, this is clearly not these institutions making these decisions on their own. This has to be coming from higher up.
Well, no, look, I mean, honestly, do you think that the What's in Your Wallet company wanted to drop me? I mean, they're making fees and interest off, and they don't want to stop doing business with me, but they're worried that the Biden administration is going to view them disfavorably if they don't divest themselves from gun stores. So to maintain their good position with the powers that be in Washington, they're willing to cut ties with 1% of their business and pay it. Side benefit, it improves their ESG scores. You know, these Vanguard, State Street, these asset managers, there's these companies that analyze companies and say, how woke are these companies? But it's like a woke scorecard. You know, are you net zero pledged? Do you do business with other entities we don't want you to, like gun stores? Oh, no, we dropped all our gun stores. Oh, great, your ESG score has now gone up, and you can brag to all your liberal friends at fundraisers how high your ESG score is for your company. That's what was happening. These banks are getting pressured from the federal government to divest themselves. And I actually have a little bit of sympathy for the big banks, but on the flip side, they should have stood up and said, no, we're not doing that. That's un-American. That's wrong. We will not be a part of that. But they didn't. They went along with it.
Now, I'd imagine this has gotten better with the Trump administration, but of course, it could go back to the shoe being on the other foot with the Democrats back in there. Is there anything in the works, to your knowledge, at the federal level that would say stop this in the future? You could actually, it's not just the discretion of, say, a presidential administration.
Yes, there is. So Senator Tim Scott is chair of the Banking and Financial Services Committee in the United States Senate. Our Senator, Katie Britt, actually serves on that committee. Her staff reached out to me 2 months ago. They knew I'd been debanked. They said, would you provide a statement that we can use in our press release? Katie Britt is actually co-sponsoring this debanking legislation. It's called the FIRM Act, and I forget exactly what the acronym stands for. But basically, it's going to prohibit political debanking in America, and Katie Britt co-sponsored the bill. And I said, I'll be happy to help you with that. So I provided them a nice little quote, and I appreciate Senator Britt leading on this issue at the federal level. Now, whether or not that can get through, we got a really slim majority in the House and Senate right now.
Right.
Maybe you get it through the House. Do you get it through the Senate with Democrats? They can filibuster, right? We need 60 votes. I don't know that this thing will make it through the United States Senate, just being honest, which is why it's so important that we pass debanking legislation like Tennessee did at the state level. We can enforce this at the state level. We can tell these big banks, hey, banks, if you have over $20 billion in assets, you're covered in this bill. By the way, that's very few banks that do business in Alabama. And they're all screaming about this. So, you can't tell us who to do business with and everything. And my question to them is, if you're not debanking people, then why would you oppose this legislation? Right?
Right.
Like, if you're not guilty of it, this wouldn't affect you. It's like you're exposing yourselves to being guilty by speaking up against this legislation. Community banks are not worried about this. Community banks aren't debanking anyone. And that's why I left them out of the legislation. So I went to my friends, Representative Keel and Senator Andrew Jones, and I said, would y'all be willing to sponsor legislation at the state level similar to what Tennessee did? It's an Alliance Defending Freedom bill prohibiting political debanking in Alabama. Would y'all be willing to sponsor that? And they said yes. So we had the bill this year. It was introduced. It had a committee hearing, did not receive a vote, but it was late in session. We're very optimistic for this bill next year. It's a red meat bill for the Republican base. It's an election year. It'd be a fantastic year for them to address this issue. And I'm optimistic we'll see some movement on it next year.
Well, and there's so much more I want to talk to you about, and I guess we can do that. You're going to be joining the show next Monday, I believe.
Really looking forward to having 3 full hours with you. We haven't done that since February.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. And, I don't know if you heard my little opening rant to the show that sometimes as we're getting ready for the 26th cycle, it feels like I'm conversation, especially with candidates and say office holders, can feel very fake. Like I'm not talking to a real person. I'm talking to a message discipline persona. I will say I have never felt that way about you since the first time I talked to you on the phone. And so just thank you for being who you are and how you're going about what you do here in this world.
Well, I appreciate that. When I ran for state house, I wasn't recruited to run by Montgomery. I didn't have former legislators coming and asking me to run. I was just a person who cared about my state and wanted to get involved. And to be honest, the powers that be in Montgomery opposed me. I wasn't supposed to win that race. I flipped a seat that had been Democrat 150 years. It was said to be an unwinnable seat. Alabama Republican Party gave me $0 because they said it was an unwinnable seat, and I was able to win. So when I got there, I wasn't beholden to anybody other than my voters, which is really the way that it should be. Ran for state auditor, was in last place in the polling. There were 5 of us in the race. People said Sorrell can't win. It's going to be the end of his political career. But my message resonated with the voters. The donors came out and supported me. I doubled the previous fundraising record for state auditor, and I won the race. And I've always been able to just be a genuine person. This is who I am. This is what I feel about the issues. And what I found is that I seem to agree with the voters in Alabama naturally. I don't have to be fake and put on a persona in order to get votes. I'm for common sense things like election audits. I come out strong in support of election audits. Who knew that would be a controversial thing to be for in Montgomery? The fact that we should randomly sample some ballots, hand count them, and run them through a tabulator and make sure that the counts match. Such a simple thing, but we can't get it through in Montgomery. And that's people's frustration with their elected officials is 90% of Republican primary voters can support something like election audits, and their elected officials in Montgomery won't pass the bill. And that just frustrates me to no end. And I'll tell you one more quick story.
Sure.
I was told in no uncertain terms in 2019 my political career was over because I supported a bill that would take away your right to vote on your state school board member. the bill was being supported by very influential and high-ranking people in Montgomery. I publicly opposed the bill, got on the House floor and spoke against the bill. So the bill passed. It was a constitutional amendment, went on the ballot. 75% of Alabamians voted no on taking away their right to vote on their state school board member. I voted with 75% of Alabama, and yet I was told by Montgomery people that my political career was over. There's such a huge disconnect between Montgomery and the average voter.
Well, and as you know, I can be very cynical about the process, but your rise and you just being who you are gives me a lot of hope that, people are listening. And it sounds like the fundraising's going very well as you're running here for Secretary of State.
I was able to set an initial fundraising record on the initial fundraising report. It was just 12 days. I raised $50,000. That's never been done before. By the way, there's no PAC money in that. That's all individual and just business contributions. People, like real Alabama people who support my campaign, are donating to me because they believe I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do on the campaign trail. They want things like the election audit bill I mentioned. They want their ballots watermarked. Tennessee watermarks are absentee ballots, so you can't photocopy an absentee ballot and go in and run it through a machine and have it counted. Georgia watermarks all their ballots. Alabama doesn't watermark anything. So my friend Angela Shepard, she photocopied her absentee ballot, took the copies to a public ballot testing in Lee County in 2022, ran them through the machine, and the tabulator counted every one of those fake ballots.
Wow.
That's a problem. If that doesn't concern you, you're not very serious about election integrity. We're going to have a new division of election integrity in the Secretary of State's office if I win. Going to have 5 people. Their only job is going to be cleaning up the voter rolls and investigating voter fraud. These are the things that the Republican primary voters are for. They want serious election integrity in Alabama, and I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to deliver.
Hear, hear. Well, I look forward to seeing you Monday, and look forward to the 3 hours together.
Thank you so much for having me on. Look forward to seeing you.
Thanks, sir. Again, that's State Auditor Andrew Sorelli is running for Secretary of State. And yeah, y'all heard my little rant at the beginning of this show. The guy's going to be here for 3 hours. Anybody can call and ask him questions.
Something tells me he's not going to have a problem answering directly.
No.
He's not one of those guys.
No, and maybe
Puts
it's
it out there.
maybe it's a generational thing.
Yeah.
And I get time restrictions. I get all the practical aspects of this thing we call political life. But that guy's doing it right.
It's not a generational thing, I don't believe.
Yeah.
Some people want to be a part of the clique or the gang so bad they'll find that tip pretty quickly and suckle up next to it, man.
Well, sometimes when it's right there dangling above you, it's kind of like, well, what else am I going to do?
Ambition's not one of those things that lapses over age or time.
That is fair. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by Dillon Rings, and there at Dillon Rings, Josh and Leslie Ryder are ready to help you out. They're a full service jewelry shop there at Dillon Rings, and given it's a new month, there is a new birthstone to promote.
That's right.
And I'm looking at Facebook, and it's Alexandrite. Wow. Beautiful. This gem is rarer than diamonds and will change color depending on what kind of light it is in. It will go from a bluish green to a reddish purple. According to legend, this gemstone was named for Alexander II because it was discovered on the future Tsar's birthday in 1834. Because Alexandrite's red and green hues match Russia's military colors, it became the official gemstone of Imperial Russia's Tsardom. But you're looking at an example of like what it looks like in the daylight, what it looks like at, say, incandescent light. And yeah, that is okay. That's cool.
That's pretty cool. I dig that.
And so if you're a June baby, if you got a birthday like my brother, happy birthday today, Will. Like, say you want to get something made, custom made with this gemstone, they can do that for you. And I'm sure they can also find you something already made, get it to you. We'll tell you a little more later about all they can do there as a full service jewelry shop, but it's this sort of insight into like gems, into like the actual expertise it takes to run a great store. Well, that's Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. Y'all stop by today, 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery. That's just off of Atlanta Highway, sort of the back end entrance to AUM. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie and Byron, those fellas on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take a boat
going out for a spin or go mail something?
Go Winds!
Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing?
Go Winds!
Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing?
Go Winds!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere. From dust mites, pet dander, and pollen to smog and smoke, an asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Sponsored by Armstrong Pharmaceuticals.
For reliable electrical services in Central Alabama, trust the experts at Crosby Electric. Crosby's licensed and insured electricians are ready to tackle any project for your home. From troubleshooting, repairs, to installing new lighting and preventive maintenance. And Crosby understands the need for quality service for small business. Crosby is big enough for the largest job, yet small enough to bring real value. Visit CrosbyElectric.com to schedule your service. Crosby, powering Central Alabama with excellence.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio. And from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Are you thinking about selling your home? Here's a question for you. Would you trust your biggest investment to someone who's only doing real estate as a side gig? They've got another job, so how focused are they on getting you the best results? I'm Hannah Grantham, and for us at Forest Meadows Homes and Land, real estate is our full-time and only job.
That's right. You don't have a part-time banker, so why would you have a part-time realtor?
So if you're thinking of selling, think Hannah Grantham and Eddie Bader, and let's make sure your home gets the attention it deserves.
We're full-time agents getting full-time results. Give us a call today, 334-322-0662.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back.
How much does that go for? Is that covered?
You got to pay extra for that.
Okay.
Welcome back, folks. We were just talking about Eddie's private time.
Yes, we were.
Right. It's pretty good. We got laws.
Thank God we got laws.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. Man, great guy.
Great guy, man. He helped me out. Like I said, a couple weeks ago, I had the whole leaking in the slab of the water. And he was able to come in there, get the water taken care of for me. And now we're going to do the whole liquid epoxy repair. Where we're going to, instead of tearing up the slab, busting it all up, spending thousands and thousands of dollars, this is just a couple $1,000 fix, which is much better than what we were looking at.
Yeah. And so whether it's major leaks inside or outside, they have the means to fixing it without creating a bigger headache and a bigger mess. Whether you're talking about the slab or drywall inside, God forbid, or it could be even a leak outside.
Sure could be.
You don't want to have to dig, how long do you want a dozer out there just like
not only that, or if you got
digging
standing water in your yard this time of year, it's just skeeter haven. So if you got that leak and it's backing up in the yard, just looking for more trouble.
But it's not just the big jobs. It could be like the garbage disposal in the kitchen is just not working or it's clogged up and you're like, well, I can't use Drano. That'll destroy the
No,
thing.
and they've repaired a couple leaky faucets for me too. I mean, they can do the easy stuff and they
Yeah.
can do the hard stuff.
Maybe low water pressure.
Yep.
If you're like Trump, I think Trump didn't say luxurious locks. He said luxuriant, which is what a word. He's like, I need a lot of water. I need so much water for these this hair.
Luxuriant.
So, if you want to wash those luxuriant locks, or you just like, water pressure when you're taking a shower.
Yeah.
Or cleaning the dishes too. I mean, stuff like that.
Big thing, man.
All right, they can help you there. Or they can help you upgrade to, say, a tankless water heater system, or maybe a taller toilet if your knees and hips are getting older and you don't want it to be a chore actually having to sit down.
No thanks.
Those are well worth it, man.
Yes,
I know, because you just experienced some old school toilets
yeah.
where it's like,
I was not conditioned, sitting
The
there.
old round
I
bowl
guess,
special?
yeah, I guess people used to be shorter and their butts were smaller.
Well, everything was
Many
smaller,
moons ago.
apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Hit your head on the doorway.
Yeah.
If you're not careful.
So whatever your plumbing needs, Cole Plumbing has your back. Call them up today. Make an appointment at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
Call on Cole, Joey.
so we've got the second hour coming up. I think we can get into a Rand Paul clip. Rand went on Fox and CNBC. We'll do the CNBC one. It's a little more interesting with
All right.
Aaron Ross Sorkin. Rand defending himself, saying, no, I was sent here by the people of Kentucky to stop this debt bomb.
Yep.
And honestly, Trump calling him a grandstander, him and Massey, I look at him and I go, these guys are consistent, dude.
Very consistent.
Like, it's not like they just all of a sudden, oh, this is my moment to stand up. No, this is like what they've been doing since they were elected to Congress,
for
and
what they
nobody will.
believe in.
And Trump says it's not practical. What's their solutions? It's like, no, they have plenty of practical solutions. The rest of y'all just don't want to budge.
What's the definition of practical?
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah. No, Rand's got them, to her credit, Senator Britt signed on to it, maybe knowing it won't ever go anywhere, but the penny plan. I think it's a great idea where you just cut you do baseline budgeting and you cut 1% of the budget.
It's something. At least
across
it's
the
something.
board. And you might be like, well, we need, okay, then but you eventually get 1% out of the budget, do it every 5 years. And with economic growth, like that seems like a very reasonable, practical plan to me.
But remember, we're still under the government that when contracts come around and there's money left over in the budget, you have 72 hours to hurry up and spend it. You just buy anything, because if we don't spend all of our budget this year, we won't get more next year. But that mindset alone is as backwards as it comes. So until they're willing to address the mindset.
Well, and now if you
done.
go back to stupid partisan world, the White House shuts down one of the most disgusting lies spread about the big, beautiful bill, which Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer and all these folks are saying people will literally die.
I did hear that yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't know of anyone that would die, though. Just a few trees once the bill got printed out.
Well,
paper and all.
Who gives a damn about their trees?
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Kusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky has condemned a Russian rocket attack on the city of Sumy that killed 3 people. The attack came a day after direct peace talks between the warring sides made no progress on ending the 3-year war. Liberal candidate Lee Jae-myung is forecast to win South Korea's snap presidential election. The vote comes 2 months after conservative President Yoon Suk-yeol was removed from office over his short-lived imposition of martial law in that country. Conservative Karol Nawrocki's victory in Poland's presidential runoff has set the country on a more nationalist course. Nawrocki was supported by President Trump. He won just over 50% of votes in the tight race. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 231 points, the Nasdaq Composite adding 200. This is SRN News.
3 years ago, I wrapped up a run of Annie playing Daddy Warbucks with the South Carolina Children's Theater. I was about 40, 50 pounds overweight, tired, sick, fed up with the way I felt. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. I had to do something. I scheduled my weight loss consultation with PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. And as they say, the rest is history. Just a few months, I lost over 50 pounds. I took control of my health. 3 years later, I've kept the weight off and I feel better than ever. If you are where I was, do what I did. Call PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. It'll change your life. It's fast and simple. They won't let you fail. Just give them a call at 855-696-2020 to schedule your weight loss consultation. That's 855-696-2020. 855-696-2020. Here's the best part. First 11 callers who mention the keyword healthy will get 2 free weeks added to their weight loss package. Don't wait. Call today. 855-696-2020. Mention healthy to get 2 free weeks, or visit them at myphdweightloss.com, myphdweightloss.com.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by MPM Feed and Seed. Man's best friend deserves nothing but the best, and that's what you'll find at MPM Feed and Seed in Prattville. They carry only the highest quality dog food brands for your best friend. MPM in Prattville, 1313 Highway 31 North. Open 8 to 5:30 on weekdays and Saturdays 8 to 2. Call Clint Smith at 334-361-8818.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. I think today could be the hottest day of the week, perhaps with a high temperature 90, maybe above. A good bit of sunshine, and you'll start to feel some more humidity. But I think the radar will be relatively quiet today and this evening, with tonight's low down to about 70. But then tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, rain chances are a little bit better as Atlantic moisture starts to affect the area. Higher humidity, and random scattered showers and thunderstorms. Feast or famine, the rain chances a little bit better over the weekend with more storms to go around, but still random. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Hey, this is Jody Pangle with Peaches and Clean Powerful Carpet Cleaning. Have you been putting off your home carpet cleaning for a while? Give us a call at Peaches and Clean so we can bring your carpeting back to life. Check us out online at peachesandclean.com.
There's no clean like Peaches and Clean.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Montgomery police are investigating a Monday morning shooting that left a man dead. MPD responded to East 6th Street near Carter Hill Road around 12:30 a.m., where they found the victim with a fatal gunshot wound. 45-year-old Trent Harris was pronounced dead at the scene. No further details have been released. Montgomery police have released the names of the 2 people killed in a weekend crash. The 2-vehicle accident happened early Sunday morning on Madison Avenue at Hopper Street. The driver of a pickup truck, 55-year-old Martinero Lopez, and the passenger, 23-year-old Rigoberto Acagua, were found dead at the scene. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. Newsweek has nominated Riverwalk Stadium as one of the best AA ballparks in the country. Riverwalk Stadium is the home park of the Tampa Bay Rays AA affiliate Montgomery Biscuits since 2004. Newsweek notes the unusual Flying Biscuits tradition of shooting actual biscuits into the stands during games. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Lewis at the Capital Oyster Bar. And I just want to tell you, if you're in business or got an event coming up and want to do some advertising, wisely spent dollars are spent down here at Blue Water Broadcasting. All the guys are nice, easy to work with, and I see results, I guarantee you.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
You know how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Second hour of the program here on a lovely Tuesday. McLean Bader and Byron Sheehy here in the studio with me. How you two gentlemen doing?
Hi.
And in a second, we'll get to Rand Paul responding to the president. And Trump is, working all sorts of folks. I mean, to me, I have a sense that Trump just sees Rand Paul's in the way right now. Stop being a gadfly. Leave me alone. Just get this thing done. Then he'll probably endorse him down the road again. This is just how Trump operates. You're in my way and I don't like you right now. And I'm going to say all sorts of stuff about you. And then when you're not in my way, it's hey, we can be buddies again.
Yep.
You've seen it time and time again.
Lawyers do that a lot.
I was halfway looking for Trump to kind of wink as he was saying that, the whole grandstanding thing, still in the spotlight, game recognizing game sort of thing.
Let's go to line one and talk to Rooster. Hey, Rooster, how you doing?
Hey, Joey.
What's up?
Hey, look, I want to give thanks to a school teacher of mine.
Sure.
When I was growing up. And I want to tell y'all how I got the name Rooster.
All right.
You going to give me some time for that?
Go for it.
Okay, well, I went to Baldwin Junior High School, and in the 9th grade, I had all my courses done. I didn't need any more credits. And just to take up some time for the rest of the day, I took a course in art. And I'm not an artist, but I did take the course. And then after we messed with watercolors and all that stuff a while, my teacher, her name was Mrs. Sullivan, and she was a black woman. This is right after integration started.
Mm-hmm.
And one day she got up and locked the doors and covered up the little windows in the doors so people can't look in. And she passed out copies of the Alabama Constitution to all of us. And for about a week, we went through the whole thing. And every time somebody would come to the door, knock on the door, she'd make us put our books away and get our art stuff back out. And then she'd open the door, deal with them, and then whenever they would leave, she'd lock it back, and we'd get our constitutions back out and go study it again. And so that was a wonderful thing. And I just want to thank Sullivan for that. Because she was teaching us stuff that the school system didn't want us to know, I guess.
Yep. Sounds like a great woman on a mission.
Yeah. Okay, now how did I get the name Rooster? Well, in the same school, I think it was the 8th grade, I was the king of the pull-up bar. And one day we were standing in line doing the pull-ups, and Coach Johnson would get the fat boys up and pick them up where they could reach the bar, let them get a hold of it, and as soon as he turned them loose, they fall to the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was in line, and I already knew I could do it because I could climb the pegboard in the gym and the rope as well, and never even have to use my feet. And I could do 30, 40 pull-ups without even slowing down. And so I got the elbow and going, hey, get out of the way, let me up there, I'll show you how to do it. And Coach Johnson looked at me and said, settle down, you little bangy rooster. and that's where I got it. I didn't get it because of my hair color or anything like that.
No, just he's eager to get up on the pull-up bar. Well, when you're good at something, you want to do it again.
That's right.
Man. Well,
that's right.
Great call, man. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye.
Yeah, no, 30, 40 pull-ups. I mean, you got to be a kid.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there are a few, I guess, rock climbers and folks that can do that sort of thing.
I bet most people who are in good shape can probably knock out 20.
That's a unique type of strength.
Yep.
You got to train that.
I've done pull-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can do 10 or 11 fresh. I don't know. It takes a while.
I bet you I couldn't do 10 now, but I could get in 20s when I was an athlete.
How young were you?
I was a senior in high school.
How skinny were you?
I can do it in
how much you weigh?
Same as I weigh now. Probably a little bit more.
I
was cut.
170, 180,
215, 220.
Oh yeah, I forget that you were taller than me.
Who's not?
A lot of people, Eddie.
Oh, did I say that aloud?
Yeah, a lot of people who aren't taller than
allowed.
I have you know I'm pretty average.
I'll have you know, I remember your story. That guy that called you tall that time. That was a
Yeah,
big day for you.
the guy who's buying every box of Rogaine at Target, little Indian guy, and I'm like, what is he dyeing his body hair? What is this?
Hey, whatever it takes.
That's right.
Oh,
Go get
thank
that
you
Grey
so
Gold,
much,
baby.
sir. You're a lifesaver. You're so tall.
Will you hand me that up there, please?
It was one of the weirdest moments.
He just didn't know what else to say. It's the only English he knew. You're so tall.
Why,
Thank you,
yes,
sir.
little
You're so
fella, I
tall.
will be glad to.
No, it's like, yeah, maybe if I lost another 10, 20 pounds, I could do more than 10 or 11. But it's pull-ups ain't easy, dude.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
Like, how many pull-ups you do?
Now?
Yeah, like one,
I
maybe.
think you squeeze out 3, and that's if you put the camera on. I mean,
And by the
probably
way,
have some issues
I don't
on the
mean like
backside.
that gay workout group CrossFit
Yeah.
where like they do the kipping. Like
I've never seen that
like
in my life.
they're
That's
using
just
like
a dance.
I mean, they're like using their body to kind of kip up there and stuff, and like, I get it. It's part of their
Momentum, I
their
suppose. but-
little workout
Yeah.
group.
Those don't count.
No, and it can't just be like, oh, you pull up here and you just go, like it's just you're kind of up there at the top. No, you got to go full
All the way.
extension here.
No.
Baby.
What cracks me up though, and I got to be honest, when people do that whole how many pull-ups can you do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then I watch them out in regular everyday life,
I
like
know.
getting out of the water, and I'm like, I thought I was out of shape. You can't even get in a boat.
And then breathing heavy.
Right. I'm like, yeah. For some people, I know that's very important. For me, last thing on my list.
No, I've seen people that are actually strong at the gym, and it's like, nah, that's just not in the cards for me.
But I know too many people that are country strong where they don't know how strong they are. They don't know they're not supposed to be.
Oh,
that
there's
strong.
some of those guys.
Yeah,
Ooh,
right. I
dude.
mean, most of them are
Well,
people
and
I
grip
know,
strength,
blue
yeah.
collar guys, and they don't know. You're not
Like,
supposed
I
to be able
guess
to lift
what,
that up.
moving hay bales and stuff. Like you start
One
doing
guy
that young.
did a lot of tree work. I knew.
Oh
And,
God.
so him and I were cleaning the yard one day, and I kept asking him, "Hey, come and we'll do this together." Well, finally, some of the ones that we were doing together, he had one tucked under his arm. I never felt so like less of a man ever in my life. And I'm like, you're not supposed to be able to carry that around like that. Just so you know, you're the odd one, not me. You're the odd guy.
No, and I think there are a lot of people now where it's like we're just all hunched over looking at the
Yeah.
phone. And you kind of, especially your back muscles there that keep kind of the neck upright and stuff. People have just, it's atrophied because
What's it
everybody's
gonna-
slouching looking at the phone.
osteoporosis later on in life, everybody's going to have from having that whole
Dude, yeah.
spine bend.
Yeah, we're all getting it.
Oh, I think all of our hands are just going to be mangled.
Oh, and I definitely have the thing where, my phone will, as I'm holding it with one hand, will rest on
Yeah.
my pinky. So there is
Get
a
the
little,
callus there?
no, it's an indentation.
So where it sits
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, it's like it's not that pronounced where you can see it on
Yeah,
camera
so-
very well, but
the phone notch is right in there every time.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
no, but you can definitely feel it. So it is weird, all the technology that we use. It's like, ooh,
Yeah.
it's not good for your body. And in fact, we'll get to the Senator Fetterman thing about the warning labels and mental health links.
Let me ask
The
one
best thing
about
you
that,
can
though.
do is not use this stuff all the time.
How did the warning labels work on the music industry?
I know.
That's why I hate going through this. It's like we're repeating.
How did it work on the
stupid things.
cigarettes?
The worst warning labels I ever see are in European countries, and they're
Mhm.
awful. It doesn't work though. I
Right.
mean, they're just awful graphic photos. People still smoke them left and right.
Yeah.
I think we're wasting time with that.
Or I do think some of that actually does work is like getting rid of Joe Camel. Like I think that probably curtails.
Oh no! And one thing
miles
I am
ahead.
all for banning. I guess I'm losing I'm slowly but surely losing every bit of libertarianism in me as I get older because I'm watching TV with my grandfather, and it's been a while since I usually just watch YouTube or podcasts and stuff. So, but he wants to watch like the NBA playoffs and the Yankees are on,
Mhm.
and so I'm watching normal TV. Commercials hit, and like the amount of drug
Yes.
commercials.
Yes, Joey.
It's like, ban these.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of seeing an ad about Jardians that can maybe help with your A1C and your depression. But by the way, you might get a rare infection of the perineum, your taint.
Yep.
It's like, Jardians, really? Like, and if it's really worth it, why don't you just talk to your doctor?
That's
Like,
something that
I don't
think
need
we're
this
one
on
of the
TV.
Few places in the world that actually do pharmaceutical advertising, and it's horrible.
Though that would be
I know
that'd be an awful way. It's like, what took him out? Like a heart attack? It's like, no, he took Jardiance, got an infection in his taint.
Blew his taint out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, advertising is supposed to work, right? You're supposed to remember it.
It does work.
But so many of to that point, I hope some of the words were so long on the pharmaceuticals that I can't remember any of the ads. You know, I'm wondering how effective they actually really are.
Well, to me, I've been a victim of it. I've seen stuff for allergies before. I went, ooh, okay. I would literally make an appointment with my doctor to specifically talk about that allergy medicine. That's $30 copay gone. He gets paid on the backside. I get the allergy medicine. That's money out of my pocket. It doesn't work. Nobody gives me a refund. I'm just stuck. I don't like it at all.
But pulling this back to the point, and we'll get to it with Brett and Fetterman. The best thing for kids, for anybody, is, and you don't have to go cold turkey, but I know it's helped with me. I am still very cranky and have issues, but compared to where I was 10 years ago, I realized how miserable I was. It's like, you have to go outside and you have to exercise. Like, you're not just a mind floating around in a meat suit. You have to take care of yourself, and it makes you feel so much better than anything else. If you go through it doesn't have to be like you lift weights. Just go walk around like Blunt Cultural Park or walk around the neighborhood.
And go talk to someone. Like, having a connection really does help.
Right. Unless you're already tired of them and go find somebody else. Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. No, Eddie and I are getting there.
Getting there.
Yeah. It's like, you again.
It's you, huh?
Yeah. Actually, we're doing all right.
Your brakes work again today?
Y'all are like the two from Do You Like Pina Coladas?
Getting Caught in the Rain.
Yeah, that's y'all. Y'all are so similar, but yet kind of the odd couple, but y'all would totally find each other.
I get the odd couple. Step Brothers is what I hear all the time. Biggest Step Brothers.
Oh, no, we're very much cut from the same cloth, dude.
No way. I'm from the other side of the tracks, Bubba.
Dude. I think my mom's side of the family, but we're so cut from the same cloth. Like, my dad's side of the family is very much like your folks from here.
Military.
And then the military side. Yeah, we got that weird mix of like the military scene things beyond just this town and this area. But then we have our roots here at the same time. And we like having a good time. We like food. We like,
where I'm from, you're called good folk, good people.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a little, in my own head compared to Eddie, but
I don't know.
Actually, I take that back.
Yeah. I'm still living the movie, Joey. Still living the movie.
So I guess we're going to have to segue here into Rand Paul.
Okay.
So Rand Paul, again, Trump blasted him for being a grandstander, that his ideas are all wacky and losers. Like he called Rand's ideas losers. And so Rand Paul said the people of Kentucky hate Rand Paul and all this stuff. So Rand Paul's on this media offensive because when the president calls you out, everybody's like, I'll do an interview with you. Yep. Let's listen in to at least the beginning of this.
Squat, the Senate getting ready to start debating the House-passed reconciliation bill. Our next guest says the math doesn't add up, and he's calling for changes. Joining us right now is Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. Good morning to you, Senator. We were just talking to the president's son, in fact. What would it take for you to support this bill?
Well, the main thing that I object to is raising the debt ceiling $4 or $5 trillion. That's an indication that we'll borrow that much. It's an indication that we'll put the debt on the back burner. We'll have no more discussion of it for a year or two. And really, we're locked in a year right now where in March of this year, most of the Republicans, not me, voted to continue the Biden spending levels in March. So we're operating under a continuing resolution which originated as Biden spending levels. You remember Republicans saying, Bidenomics, Biden inflation, Biden this, Biden that. Well, they voted for that in March. So the deficit here at the end of the fiscal year, at the end of September, will be about $2.2 trillion. I'm not for that, so I voted against the spending levels. But now they want me to vote for $5 trillion worth of increase in a debt ceiling, and I'm just not for that. That's not conservative.
So the question is, when you look around the room and you look at your peers and colleagues, how many people do you think you have with you? What does this bill ultimately look like in the end?
I think there are 3 or 4 of us. If there are 4 of us who want it to be more fiscally conservative, I think we can reduce the spending levels and perhaps separate out the debt ceiling as well. But it takes 4 people with courage, and 4 people with courage can make the bill into anything we want it to. Right now, there are competing factions, though. There are 4 or 5 who don't want any spending cuts, and there are 4 or 5 who want more spending cuts. So it's who sticks together better and who has more courage to stand up and say no. I've said no for 6 months now. I said I will not vote to raise the debt ceiling $5 trillion, but I'm pretty much open to compromise on everything else in the bill. I want to make the tax cuts permanent. I supported them in 2017. I think it's the best thing we did for the economy. It's why the economy thrived in the first Trump term until it was shut down by the pandemic. So I do want the tax cuts. I want them to be permanent. I'm for a lot of spending cuts, but I'll compromise and get as much as I can. I'm just not going to take responsibility for the debt. The debt has always been a Democrat problem and a big government problem. Once this bill votes and this debt ceiling goes through, the debt is owned by the GOP, and there is no more campaigning and saying this is the Democrats. It will be owned by the Republicans, and I think that's a huge mistake.
I mean, so far he's making a heck of a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, not that crazy.
I don't understand why they didn't go in and kind of slash more of the spending right after Biden left. I mean, that was the perfect time to do it. Not going to be able to do it 2 years from now.
Because I think they never planned on it anyway.
Oh, they don't.
I mean, that's the thing.
When's the last time we raised the debt ceiling and walked it back after
right.
that?
I mean, that's what drives me nuts.
Yeah.
It's just a fake.
Frustrating. Hey, real quick, before I forget, this part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy or sell that house of yours in the Montgomery and surrounding areas. Bo has been working in the River Region real estate market for about 50 years now. And so he's, got the experience to help you. And not only can they help you at the Goodson Group buying and selling your property, but they have management services available should you want to rent out your home. Great idea here in the River Region real estate market. And the Goodson Group is home of the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed and accredited real estate programs in the great state of Alabama. Bo's 50 years of experience really come to bear there. And whether you're looking to be a licensed real estate agent or a more knowledgeable player in the market, just think about the Bo Goodson Real Estate School. So you can always learn more at thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program. Now, Rand Paul does drive home a pretty good point about how there's this whole other faction that doesn't want to see any cuts. I'm like, are these people crazy? Or that all they care about is the short term?
Yeah.
For instance, before I go back, there's more with Rand Paul on that interview. Did you see the numbers coming out of Argentina?
Mm-hmm.
Javier Milei.
Yes.
It's especially being in like libertarian free market economic world for so long. A lot of our ideas, as much as libertarians get blamed for everything under the sun, which is crazy. It's just like, we're not the ones in power.
It's easy that way.
Right. Well, and I will admit, we are very annoying. Like, I get that. So it's easy to blame us. It's like,
at least you're honest.
Well, let's scapegoat the beta soy boys over there
Something to argue about.
with all their ideas and systems and whatnot. So it took this crazy punk rock chainsaw wielding economics professor in Argentina, who wins. He cuts the budget like crazy reductions. Like if you applied it to the U.S. government, it would have been tens of millions. It would have been millions and millions of people cut the workforce. You would have seen massive reductions in spending. And so everybody's screaming, he's going to hurt the poor. He's going to hurt all sorts of folks, yada, yada, yada. Well, it turns out it's working. Argentina's economy grew 8% year over year in April 2025. This follows a sustained upward trend with January, February, and March recording 6.7%, 6%, and 5.6% growth respectively. This is all attributed to Milei's policy since December 2023. Key sectors driving growth include commerce, financial services, and energy. International forecasts align with the IMF and World Bank, projecting 5.5% growth for 2025, highlighting Argentina's emergence as a global economic leader. Those are crazy growth numbers.
So at the end of the day, what did he do? Basically got government out of the way?
Yes, he essentially cut all the unproductive crap. And there's other more technical things he's doing. Like the latest thing is they're encouraging people who have undeclared dollars in the country, who are kind of hoarding those. No, declare them. We want to go to full dollarization. So he's trying to make the financial sector even more sound for international investment.
Some common sense approaches. And when we do that here, like by cutting budgets and things, They don't know how to do anything but say, no, we need more money. They
Right.
don't know how to and refuse to try to operate with less.
Well, and this is the idea of the chainsaw and of the wrecking ball, that people scream when you knock down these things that have been there forever. And what about my gravy train? And there's no way we could build a better mousetrap. This is the way it just has to be done. And no, when you actually go through with the chainsaw, in Malay's case, you can see amazing rapid regrowth. And I think America would be even better than Argentina. God bless the Argentinians.
100%.
But if you did this in America, we would grow at astounding rates.
If they're saying that it's 8%, imagine being on the ground a year ago compared to today.
Oh, no.
You probably think it's thousands of percent because you're actually able to do things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just a substantial growth that they got, which is great. But I imagine on the ground, it's probably twice that.
Yeah. And so Elon wanted to do that. Like, I think Musk he's the one who had the chainsaw at CPAC.
Right.
But Americans are like, well, that's not proper. Like, and it's like, where's y'all's fun? And I'm so tired of the boomer finance crowd.
What's
Seriously.
wrong with the boomer finance?
No, this boomer finance system that accrues to the benefit of the boomers.
How
it has
so?
been,
You get screwed as much as anybody.
well, the average boomer.
No,
But
they
you know
don't.
what I'm talking
No, they
about.
don't.
Oh, come on.
No, I don't. Educate me.
You don't know about this?
No, educate me.
Okay, the boomer generation, the baby boom, is the biggest generation. All these kids born after the war.
Right.
Yes, and they come up into the world, into, say, making money, like how easy it was to buy a house, for instance.
Oh, wow. I don't know what boomer generation you're talking about, but not my parents. They struggled from day one. Went into the military just so they could make sure they got 3 hots and a cot.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. You make it sound
It
like
doesn't mean people didn't struggle.
you make it sound as if, and it's not you. Don't take it personally, but y'all make it sound as if they were born with a silver spoon. in
No,
their
that's
mouth.
not what I mean.
It
I mean,
wasn't the
like
case.
actually saving and buying that house was.
But they did it instead
Yes.
of buying the car. They
Right.
saved money for the house. They
Right.
took the bus.
Right.
Younger generation's not willing to do that. Younger generation has more importance than a cell phone.
But you know housing prices better than anybody.
Yes.
Like the
They were expensive
entry
then.
point is much higher.
Much higher, yes, sure. 250
This is the
compared to
point.
35,000. However, look back in time; those people then didn't have the same financial opportunities as far as banking concerning on buying a house. Most of the time, it had to go to dad. Dad set up the loan for somebody. They didn't have those same. I mean, right now, if you got a pulse, honest to God, if you got a pulse and a 600 credit score, I can get you a house.
Right. But the point isn't about particular people within the boomer generation. It's about the wider trend that happened as the boomers came into power and control. And what happened is you started to build an economy on issuing more and more debt, government debt and private debt.
Okay.
And so as you expand money and credit and you expand it, that's why folks are like, well, I bought this house in 1960 something and it's now worth, hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's more absurd, not necessarily here, but it's more absurd in like California and in the Northeast. There's some examples
If you
around
bought
here.
a piece of property in Manhattan in 1900,
right?
It's worth a lot more today, is it not? They
Right.
did what it took. They made those risks, and not everybody did.
No, not everybody did. But the point is they come up in this world where they get in early just from, yes, sometimes it meant pinching pennies and making sacrifices. Don't get me wrong. But then the asset inflation accrues to their benefit, to where your generation, Gen X, millennials, and then even younger than me, you are starting out from square one and you're entering into this economy that is driven by issuing more and more debt. So everything is much more
They
expensive.
didn't start out
Everything.
from square one. I don't.
The economy.
You didn't start off from square one with a dollar that's lost a lot of its value. Like 1971 is when we go off the gold window.
Okay.
And more of this has existed. So the point is that
To
things
me, I
weren't
see it
as
you putting
inflated.
it on people, whereas I put it all on our government.
I'm saying people ran the government. People ran and created these
And what are
economic
those
systems.
people? They're-
Yeah.
Those aren't the ones that are struggling nowadays, hoping that retirement kicks in and whatnot. So that's a very minority set of people that you're putting all those problems on boomers.
No, I'm saying it's the boomer generation.
Okay, Bitcoin. You got in early, right?
Yes.
So if you still had it, would it be unfair for me to go, well, it's cheating because Joey got in early? I don't have the same opportunities that Joey
No,
had.
I'm not pointing to a particular person. I'm pointing to this idea of here's what's happened during the era of the boomer to the
But
economy.
you seem to be putting the fault on the boomers themselves. Where all they did was go to work, give me a key to the house, and tell me not to get in trouble.
I'm not putting the fault on the boomers themselves. I am putting the fault a little bit on the way the boomers vote. And you better believe the boomer politicians, they're the ones that don't want to cut anything.
I agree with you on that.
So there's got to be somewhere where the rubber meets the road here.
I agree, but
and it's like, well, and all the TV, all the media is changing, and all the stuff is changing, and like, and it creates a awful incentive to where they don't want to budge because they are sitting in a nice position, and everybody else is also like, well, you need to restructure things.
Why?
Maybe yes, I might want to be in a position where I can pass off the baton to the next generation without screwing them over.
Okay. However, again, with the boomers did nothing but work. That's all they've ever done. You're putting, and maybe I'm just too close to that.
Boomers did nothing but work. Come on.
What did we do? We worked. What did my parents do? They worked. Took us on vacation once a year. We got to go to Disneyland. Other than that, they worked.
Most people, my generation right now, if they can take a vacation, they're fortunate.
My generation?
Same way, right?
Dude, when I was growing up, I thought that was a dream. That vacation, what's that? I think I was in my late 30s before I took my first real vacation.
Kudos.
That's just life.
Mm-hmm.
And not to knock on you guys, but your generation, and even mine included, looks for a fast return on everything. And it's just not there. You've got to put in the work.
But come on. Like, you're talking about, and especially because Byron's a little bit older. I mean, not much.
Yeah.
Like, he especially is hit by the whole 08 crash. And the bailouts and stuff?
Okay, 08 crash. That's when Eddie got in the market.
Yeah.
I mean, I got hit with it too, but you know what? I got in there with a head full of dollars.
I'm not
and
knocking hard work and working smart in a bad situation. I'm also saying that when people are starting out and they have barely any skills, they have no experience,
You're looking
they
at that
have
guy.
no money.
You're looking at that guy.
Oh, come on.
Well, I mean,
what did I have?
You saved and built up over a long time.
I busted my butt.
I know,
but
this is what I'm
started with
talking about.
Nothing.
But how old are you in 2008?
Oh, I don't know. How many years ago was that?
Right. You're in your 40s, late 30s or 40s. Yeah. Okay. That's very different than being 20 when 08 happened.
No, but in my 20s, I was at Alps and Wire when that big crash came through. I
Mhm.
rode that out.
Yeah.
It happened. You don't just go, oh, okay, I'm screwed and it's the other generation's fault. I bucked up, got back in it, did it again. And if chances are I'm going to get screwed again before this is over with.
Sure.
But I don't blame other generations. I don't blame anybody but myself. It's just your generation seems to always.
I think
hear
there
the
is
boomer
no,
this, the
but I
boomer
also
that.
think there is I've always used the example, for instance, my dad talked about Auburn, going to Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes there, he graduates from Jeff Davis in 1980,
Mm-hmm.
goes to Auburn. They didn't have the money necessarily to pay the full freight of tuition. So he did 40 something hours a week at Lowe's.
Yeah.
And he's like, Joe, you might have to do something like that. But actually, we're trying to work hard to where you never have to do something like that. And as it gets time for I come to college and he looks at the tuition bill, he goes, oh, damn, you can work 40 hours a week at Lowe's. You ain't affording this. And it's an example of, yes, everybody worked hard. And of course, everybody worked hard, right? Everybody in all the generation, like, come on, number one. But I think there is an idea of, say you are working hard, that the factors that surround you, the system that surrounds you, is very different experience for the younger generations than that generation.
Sure, but to complain about and put it
Well,
off
what
on
I'm complaining about in particular is this
Lack of
idea that we
opportunity?
can't change things.
You can change your personal all the time.
No, I mean on the macro level. I said boomer finance, that we can't change what Rand Paul's talking about. No, we must always forever increase the debt, not just public debt, but private debt as well.
I disagree with that.
What happens if we try to cut Social Security?
Oh, well, that's, I mean,
Well, here's the thing, though. Here, to me,
they
here's
would
the big
make
word.
promises on that, right?
That's the big word, though. Social Security. Instead of saying, "Hey, these are specific cuts we would like to make," people throw out Social Security, so it makes people panic. You can't throw out, I want to cut all of welfare. Well, everybody's going to be affected. I don't want that. Be specific in what you're doing, because all your other press and things take that information. Hey, they're going to get rid of all Social Security. Everybody's going to die. And all you go back to go, no, we didn't say all of it. What'd you say?
They won't even touch Social Security, like none of the entitlements. Medicare, Medicaid, all that is a sacred,
But you
holy
got
cow.
no
that
offense, but you
cannot be
guys
altered.
your generation is more likely to say touch Social Security because you don't have the vested interest that I have or the generation before me had. Same with seniority. When we worked at Hyundai, seniority was the key. You'll always have seniority here. You put in the time.
Yeah, but this ain't Hyundai, man.
No, this is life, dude. I got seniority and Social Security. Until you got the same vested interest I have, then your opinion doesn't matter.
But what
Sorry.
Melee did in Argentina, they went through reform across the board, and everyone had to experience some of the pain. Like, if we can actually get some of this spending under control.
So you're telling me cutting Social Security
I'm
for
saying
deserving people are
No.
somehow going to fix it? That's the crap.
What I'm
man.
saying is the fact that it's not even on the table to be discussed.
They're arguing about the 101-year-old people that are collecting Social Security. So until that gets addressed, don't even look at me about taking mine.
No, but think
don't
about
even look at
I want
me.
to start on Medicaid. Like
That's fine, but again, go until they will go after the obvious fraud. Don't even look my way. That's the issue. You guys are, instead of saying, "Hey, we know he got fraud," but it's easier to go fart around with these old folks who can't do anything about it. Sorry, but that's how I see it.
Well, that's also kind of arguing over pennies when we could be arguing over dollars on some of this reform.
Then start with the pennies, but show me you're at least willing to do that.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Starting to think Eddie's an honorary boomer.
No, I'm just a guy that's seen it all. I've seen this crap before.
Well,
here's the obvious crime. We're going to acknowledge this is the obvious crime, but we're going to go after you peaceful gun owners because we don't want nobody to have guns. We're not going to go with the guys that we know have guns that shouldn't have guns. That's a fight we're not going to win.
Right.
So we're going to go mess with you peaceful folks. They just change it around, dude.
Yeah, but
that's all it
back
is.
to my original point. I said boomer finance. And so why is the U.S. government constantly taking out more and more debt?
Because we elect morons and we don't hold them accountable.
Why are private people having to take out more and more debt?
Because our government's elected morons.
Yeah,
we
and
don't hold
so
them
and
accountable.
who votes in mass?
22% of the state of Alabama.
Right, but it's mostly old folks. Until this last election, Trump got young people out.
Sure.
But
Well, okay,
look at
hold
the
on.
politicians.
You're going to complain about the old folks that actually vote instead of complaining about the young folks that won't get off their lazy butts?
No,
Are
I'm
you part of the
saying.
problem?
No, I'm saying
Are you part of the
everybody.
problem here?
Sure, I'm part of the problem. If it was up to me, I'd demolish all this stuff, even if it hurt me.
Oh, Joey.
Yeah, that's the kind of mood I'm in. But by boomer finance, I mean this idea that we have to issue more and more debt for less and less growth. And you can't touch anything. The debt train must always march onward because we can't have falling asset prices. The stock market must always be bailed out. The Fed must always be backing up, those FDIC insurance claims on all those bank deposits. Could they really cover it? Well, but the Fed's going to make it good. And if the stock market ever goes down, says Alan Greenspan in the 90s, we'll be there to bail you out. Oh, we have a little problem with regional banks when treasury bonds go to crap. Well, we got a quick little bailout for you there. Oh, no, the government can't do. Well, we're going to bail you out again. It's like we can just create money and create money and create money, and there will never, ever be any consequences that you're talking about.
There are consequences. I've known, and you have too, and I'm sure Byron has too, known how many people of a certain generation that lost everything they had in that stock market. All right. When you talk about the bailouts, did mom and pop get bailed out? No.
Yes.
They're boomers. Why did they get? I mean, again, you're complaining about things that politicians did.
No, I'm
but
talking
you
about
seem to be blaming.
I'm
the
talking
boomers.
about a boomer era. Now, we could go into the boomer culture if you like.
It sounds like boomer on boomer crime. I mean,
Yeah.
it really
Yes.
does.
No, it's not even boomer on boomer
No, but
crime. It's
but it
people
is.
taking advantage of it. And honestly, you guys, I used to think I was smart like y'all too. Y'all are going to be the same shoes I'm in now, where you're like, you know what? They screwed me for the last 50 years. I didn't know it. Now all I can do is be pissed off about it.
Sure.
Well, I'm like, they've been screwing me for the past 20 years.
Congratulations.
So
what can you do
I'm
about it?
on pace.
Right. That's
to
what I
be where
mean.
you are.
No, and
What I
you're
mean.
just now seeing people your age and the older Gen Xers your age Gen Xers, older millennials actually start to somewhat take over positions of power and authority. It's just slowly starting now.
Yeah, I can see that.
And of course, and I'm not talking about a particular person in this cohort. I'm talking about an era. What is this era that goes on? And yeah, when you look at, say, the 80s till now, are we doing a lot better financially? Especially, in the last 20 years?
Me personally? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now the morons that we've elected to run our government, that we continue to elect.
My point would be, given the amount of work you put in, you would be doing even better if it had been in, if we had a system that wasn't so crazy, so built on just more and more debt.
How long ago was it that the public opinion question shifted from, do you think the next generation is going to have it better, the same, or worse off than yours? We just crossed over to the next generation not having it better here recently. I can't remember how long ago it was, but I think that speaks to kind of the public sentiment as to where they see the long-term trajectory of, economically for the country anyway.
Well, I guess, I don't know. It probably turned to this, probably after 08 is when it starts going, that mentality of we're going to be all right.
I want to say it was around 15, 16, somewhere in that range, but it's been over the last decade.
Right. Well, and I'll put it to you this way. How many boomers were at the Bitcoin conference?
Well,
I mean, there are a few.
There are a few, but Joey, honestly, when I think of boomers, think my mom. She wouldn't have interest in it. Her money is set in a account where she pays somebody to play with it, so she just kind of ignores it. Now, but I think on the men point of view, from a man's point of view, I think there would be some interest, but it would be almost hobby-like because of just not knowing enough about it.
Mm. But it's a very different mentality.
Oh, yeah.
And it comes from, you talk about working hard, having to figure out things. That's where this comes from.
Well, I think with that boomer generation too, some of them have lost stuff before and they're too scared to risk losing anything again.
I agree with that. Yeah. And again,
it's sad though, but
you know me. I'm not talking about the average person out there.
You're talking about my mama?
Exactly. Your mom is the reason for all our debt problems. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Did you know my mama?
I'm saying, I'll put it this way. The boomers were they were the first generation that was advertised to en masse.
Yeah.
And it was very controlled. Like, of course, my generation, the ones younger, Gen X, we got plenty of that advertising too. But we at least got to experience some of the new media and stuff. You talk about how controlled, when people think about, those are the days when we had the three news
channels.
Networks and stuff. So how controlled the information was. I'll put, like, the food pyramid comes around in that era. This is what I'm getting at.
That might be another thing where people might not want to admit, even though there were three channels and we thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Yes.
When really we were kind of getting mind screwed and didn't know it.
Yes. So this is what I'm talking about. And that mentality's still there. Still people that go, ABC Nightly News, that was a good newscast. And I look at it and I'm like, it's like an episode of Futurama, I'm like, or Rick and Morty. Like, this is a different freaking planet. What is this going on here? And we're still working out this weird transition going on. And it really does apply to finance. Like, the systems built in that era, like, they are falling apart.
But here's another
like, there's a great Jamie Dimon in the Wall Street Journal is talking about the bond market's about to revolt about the debt. So, like, we're at a tipping point of, like, the things are not holding together. And yet most of the people in charge, who are mostly older in that cohort, are like, well, we can't. We'll figure it out. Yes, you're right.
Well, some of it's vested interest, though, too. Like, I'm not going to say the name of the school, but I was at a graduation recently. Every kid in the school graduated. Every kid got, or not every kid, but they had, as a class, a record number of scholarship money available.
Private school?
Public school.
Wow, that's good.
But the dollars were so small, it was almost just enough to get them into the system. And talking about AI and everything, I was sitting here thinking, I was like, okay, so every kid in this class graduated, maybe because lower standards. More probably going to go to college for a profession or a career that may not even be there 10 years from now. And we're sending kids off in record numbers. You know, the whole micro dirty jobs campaign, apparently that funding ran out because we're back on the university train. Everybody's got to go to, 4-year institution.
See, I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that either.
I wish.
That's another thing came out of that era.
Yeah, well, you're right. But I wish there was a way to normalize, and we're slowly getting back to it, but trade schools, man. I know too many electricians come out of high school, they goof around for 5 years, 21, 22, they go to a trade school. By 25, 26, they're making 70, 80 grand a year. Mm-hmm. They're like, why didn't I do this sooner? No one told me this was even an option.
Well, and you could apply this. I could be boomer foreign policy. Folks like John Bolton who still think about all that great work they did in the 80s. And we're still fighting the
that's
Cold
a
War.
big thing, yeah.
And it's sort of this indispensable nation Cold War mentality where it's like, I don't necessarily disagree with the whole city on a hill. Like your ideals aren't wrong, but your application. It's
Right.
like, because of those ideals, we now have to go lose blood and treasure all around the world.
For
Like,
what gain?
Right. And so there's a lot of stuff that maybe it worked during that era. I'm not necessarily knocking it in the 80s or the 90s, but when you start to see the longer timeline and where we're at now, we got a lot of decisions to make. And it's going to, unfortunately, I wish we could take a chainsaw like Malay did, but
I don't, we
you got a lot of folks that
too
are
much
scared,
entrenched
to your
crap,
point, and too much at stake that they don't want to butt.
Look, man, the ball has got to hit the floor. Like
Yeah.
we haven't hit bottom.
No,
I mean that's all
no.
it boils down
Yeah.
to. And you were talking like I think my generation was kind of the last of the feral kids, like the last of the latchkey.
Yeah.
The Goonie generation is what they're kind of calling it. After that, inherently soft.
No,
Like, just
with
didn't
Joey,
have-
my
didn't-
son's age, latchkey kids, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
But also your son's age, my age, we still went outside.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying in my generation or yours or the younger ones, they ain't going to be problems. There probably will be, especially with this digital hellscape we're
Sure.
building. But it's right now we're having to deal with the ones that were built before, like staring us in the face.
Well,
and
to
you're
Byron's
right.
point about getting softer, I was a latchkey kid, and everyone I knew was. But for whatever reason, once my son came along, all of a sudden that I didn't like that rule, and mainly because I was a latchkey kid, so I knew what we
Right.
did that we probably weren't supposed to.
Well, we're way over time. We have to hit this break. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. I think today could be the hottest day of the week, perhaps with a high temperature 90, maybe above. A good bit of sunshine, and you'll start to feel some more humidity. But I think the radar will be relatively quiet today and this evening, with tonight's low down to about 70. But then tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, rain chances are a little bit better as Atlantic moisture starts to affect the area. Higher humidity and random scattered showers and thunderstorms. Feast or famine, the rain chances a little bit better over the weekend with more storms to go around, but still random. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Delray to Publix.
Mr. Electric.
I've been doing electrical work for 8 years, 7 years, 6 years, 23 years. I love troubleshooting. It's one of my passions.
Electrical is all I do, unless my wife asks me to do something at home. Together, there's nothing that we can't figure out or accomplish.
You've seen it all here at Mr. Electric. Going in with the confidence to know it doesn't matter what I'm going to run into. I'm going to figure it out and confidently telling that customer, we got you taken care of.
Mr. Electric, the power to make things better.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Hi, I'm Allison Chandley, Account Executive with Blue Water Broadcasting. Why should you advertise with us? Nearly 90% of people in our area listen to local radio stations more than 14 hours every week. Blue Water is the most listened to group in Central Alabama. Put our stations to work for your business. Contact me, Allison Chandley, by going to bluewaterbroadcasting.com to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bells Cleaning Service get your home in order. Families in the River region trust Southern Bells because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bells today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bells Cleaning River Region.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health, and they're Montgomery Men's Health, especially if you boomers aren't feeling yourselves anymore. Like you just feel run down and tired all the live long day. But honestly, there's enough of the generational sniping. This has happened to Gen Xers. It's happened to millennials.
That's right.
It's happening to all sorts of men where they feel awful. Unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass,
no energy,
falling asleep, right after lunch, and you're never in the mood.
Nope.
Like you got no libido, no life force, no sex drive to speak of.
That's no good.
Could very well be low testosterone. So, fellas, get by Montgomery Men's Health. They're ready to help you out. The providers there will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. It's just a quick blood test. Not only do you get a testosterone score, you also get a PSA score, which is a great marker for prostate health. And then if you do have low T, they have treatments there that can truly change men's lives. In fact, they have treatments there that can make you feel better the very same day.
Nice.
Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym, better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's a lot right with it. Call them up today, gentlemen. 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. We went way too long in that segment, but it was a lot of fun.
It's good. I enjoy, me. I enjoy having those conversations.
Yeah, it's just they need to be had more.
And honestly, that's the problem.
I feel like I kind of occupied both worlds in many ways. Having, this is my job for like the last decade or two. And then I'm also aware of the whole online thing and I guess kind of part of it. So you see the back and forth going on right now. Anyway, let's go to Joe on line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Yes, Joe. I'm a baby boomer, and I've got a second cousin. He's 27. He's what I refer to as an American socialized socialist. And his generation, they blame the baby boomers because they feel like we're keeping them from getting a leg up. And they refer to us as fascist. Now, there are two questions I ask him, and it's interesting remarks that he gives. I asked, now, how are we supposed to, where's the money coming from till we pay you this restitution or whatever they want to refer to it, to relieve the baby boomer guilt or whatever. Where do you get the money? And they say taxes. Well, of course, that's coming from our investments. It's coming from the workers out there. Pure socialism. And another thing I ask is, where are your leaders? Crickets. All day long, crickets.
Yeah, well, I think he's wrong. I'm not a socialist.
I didn't say you were a socialist. I'm just saying that these people, these others are, well, but that's what I'm seeing out of the younger generation.
I think it's a matter of, and my generation started, I think, with the instant gratification. I did this. Where's my trophy? You don't get one.
Well, but then also let's keep in mind this last election, even younger men, this is what gave Trump the edge, are all hardcore, like do it yourself, get out of our way. Like they are very much in the Republican camp, especially young men. So there's a reaction to say the reaction. I admit the folks my age, the millennial generation, there are kind of a lot of these socialist types. For some reason, it gained credence in that era.
I can tell you, even in my generation, when I was in my 20s, there was, I won't say half, but there was a good chunk of us that did not believe in working as hard as the other guy did. You seemed to be mad about the world. The world owes me something.
Yeah.
And those same people today, they've come around. I don't know if they just got beat or what, but they've come around to going, hey, just like everybody else says, you're not ever going to get in this world unless you do something.
And then
You're not gonna get ahead.
I think a good response would be like, well, are the bank bailouts socialism?
See, I have huge problems with that. Yeah, I have huge, because every kind of bailout, and even these huge litigation things where they say, hey, Joey, you get a postcard in the mail. Joey, you've got this company did you wrong. You're going to get X because we're suing them. So you feel like, oh, wow, I'm going to get something. You get like $1. And whatever came of this, you didn't get the reimbursement. You didn't get the justification that was needed. And I think that's, again, where we are in life. It's just.
But at least they reformed everything, and everything's, solidly sound after the last bailout.
Well, I would feel better if I even thought that was.
No, that's the thing. Like people like Elizabeth Warren, and it's like more socialism.
Yeah.
Yes.
More control.
Yes.
All your pain that we've, placed on y'all, let's collect that together, distribute it across everyone else, and share it. Let's spread it. Like that's the mindset.
And remember what started all this? I said boomer finance. So how many boomers are in finance? But think of like how the crack up in 08 occurs.
Now,
where they take
honestly,
a good idea from the 80s, the mortgage-backed security, and then they set it on fire, man.
Because they leave it up to people. And people are not good. A person is good.
Well,
people are not.
Is it free markets to have like two government-sponsored entities, Fannie and Freddie, that are sucking up all these mortgages as soon as, say, some subprime company working at a strip center issues out it?
No. And
they just pass it off from bank to bank. Like, come on.
Well, financing in general, and I guess, I don't know when it started, but financing in general makes everything more expensive, whether it's education, cars, trucks, houses.
Yeah.
It makes it more expensive because now it's affordable to everybody. Joey wants it so bad, I can get a couple points off Joey wanting his dream.
Yeah, I would say, just in my own experience, working hard, saving money, getting a car, you can still do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Working really hard, saving money, getting a house,
not as hard as it takes, man.
You can get one, but
here's the thing.
The entry point is much higher than it was 30, 40 years ago.
It's only going to get worse.
Well,
so
yeah,
what do you
this
do?
is the problem.
I mean, I got people in my life that go, oh, I'm waiting for the market to crash.
Oh,
yeah. Good luck.
No luck with that.
It's what it's right for you.
So I remember, this is, I guess, my thinking. When I saw George W. Bush saying, it's the American dream, everybody owns a home, and we want to make sure everybody can afford them. So they did the whole subprime lending thing, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, one way that might be effective to allow more people to purchase homes, more supply, and you let the price come down.
Get the government out of the way. Biggest thing. One of your biggest things is get the government.
Yeah, but we've had this conversation. That would be a way to do it. More supply, prices of homes come down. They're more affordable. Thing is, because we went on a fiat money system, went off any sort of semblance of the gold standard, the main vehicle for long-term wealth storage for the average person is a home. Yeah. So if you say let home prices come down naturally on the market, everybody is going to scream bloody murder. Like, that's my long-term investment.
But yes,
it shouldn't work that way.
It shouldn't. But to me, the reason that home ownership is the American dream, it's not just so you have a home. It's you are involved with property rights. You bought it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, but then, and it's
Make sure
finally
you pay property taxes.
Yes,
you're right. You don't own that property.
That's the
get me
thing.
going on that long-term
That's
lease.
the thing. Yeah. And thank God the Ron DeSantis trying to say your main homestead, no property tax. You actually own your property. That would be an amazing thing.
And again, why is that such an odd idea?
Right. So, but no, there's all sorts of, it's like, it's hard to point your finger at one or two people. There are a few, I guess, architects you could go, yeah, that's the guy who came up with this and really pushed this. But
Morgan's, Rothschilds, Rockefellers.
I wouldn't even put it. They're a while. They're more 1913.
Well, in the boomers' defense, their generation was the first generation, I think, to get royally screwed through Vietnam. So
yeah, Vietnam was.
But that's another thing that something I totally don't understand about boomer generation. They got screwed over by Vietnam. They had their eyes open to how awful government can be. But where they're at now and they're voting, they're voting for the same people that they hated.
And keep in mind, I mean, some of this gets going. Like my grandfather is technically silent generation, in between the greatest and so he's a kid when the war breaks out. And he's like part of that silent majority when Nixon is elected. And those folks are, until maybe recently, marked by a lot of high trust and confidence in institutions, government, and because you think about it, we just kicked butt in the war and look, we can do anything. And I think the boomer generation were sort of the folks that ate off the fruits of that confidence in those strong institutions. And thought the golden era, the party will always continue and must continue. Especially as the stakes were raised and you're vested in the system. And again, we're at this point where something has to give, and it can be done either on our own terms, which would require still some pain, or we're going to have some big crack up. That's going to be even more painful, especially for folks who are whatever age. But I am thinking of retirees who are all relying on that fixed income check. They have to be protected.
What issue has the United States government ever fixed?
Right.
Compared to, like you said, we're in for a major fall. That kind of fixes things.
Yeah. Well, we got to hit this top of the hour break. First, this entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. Now, they're pretty great, aren't they?
They're the best in the business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love those folks. You know that.
Well, and they can help you. Maybe you have been saving up.
Yeah.
They can help you buy that home.
One of the best things about it is, and like we said, Joe, you can go to any bank in town and they'll give you a loan. Yeah, if you can get a loan, you can get a loan. However, these people make sure you understand the process.
Yes.
What you're signing up for.
Yes.
Exactly what's required. They're going to mention things like, hey, when you buy this house, it comes with a 30-year mortgage, you're going to have some maintenance costs. A lot of banks are not going to tell you anything like that. They're going to prepare you to buy this home.
And they can help you with a great refinance.
Yes, they can.
Especially say you are a retiree, say you are on fixed income, and you're like, man, these monthly overhead costs are killing me.
Yeah.
But you have equity built up in your home. You can reduce that and make that, say, retirement dollar you saved up stretch longer. Of course, they also specialize in helping veterans there. And there are a lot. You can go get a loan, but a lot of places ain't going to give you the time of day.
They're not.
Because they're not aware of the latest with the VA home loan programs. But they are there at Alabama Home Mortgage. So call up Kim and Madeline today at 567-4223. That's 567-4223, or visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Like Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. Final hour coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. U.S. job openings rose unexpectedly in April. The Labor Department reports employers added 7.4 million job vacancies in April, up from 7.2 million in March. Economists had expected openings to drift down to 7.1 million. Dollar General set a quarterly sales record of $10.44 billion and says it has upgraded its annual profit and sales outlook as Americans tighten their budgets and spend more at dollar stores and off-price retailers amid economic uncertainty. Inflation in the 20 countries that use the euro fell to 1.9% in May from 2.2% in April, helping clear the way for more interest rate cuts from the European Central Bank. On Wall Street, the Dow had 229 points. The Nasdaq is up 160. This is SRN News.
Sleep Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare, and I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-613-5454. 800-613-5454. 800-613-5454.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by MPM Feed and Seed. Man's best friend deserves nothing but the best, and that's what you'll find at MPM Feed and Seed in Prattville. They carry only the highest quality dog food brands for your best friend. MPM in Prattville, 1313 Highway 31 North. Open 8 to 5:30 on weekdays and Saturdays 8 to 2. Call Clint Smith at 334-361-8818.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. I think today could be the hottest day of the week, perhaps with a high temperature 90, maybe above. A good bit of sunshine, and you'll start to feel some more humidity, but I think the radar will be relatively quiet today and this evening, with tonight's low down to about 70. But then tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, rain chances are a little bit better as Atlantic moisture starts to affect the area. Higher humidity, and random scattered showers and thunderstorms. Feast or famine, the rain chances a little bit better over the weekend with more storms to go around, but still random. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
ASE's 25 and 25 has you covered. For just $25 in closing costs, you can tap into your home's equity. No hidden fees, no headaches, just extra cash. Visit your local ASE Credit Union branch today. Federally insured by NCUA, NMLS 420259. Terms apply.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
ASE, an equal housing lender.
1819 News.
State Representative Debbie Wood has revealed that she is stepping down from her seat within the Alabama House now that the state legislative session has ended. Woods made the announcement this past Monday in Chambers County and explained why she's leaving this position. Her husband has taken on a new job in Pensacola, Florida. During this latest legislative session, Wood remained living here in Alabama to fulfill her duties while her husband lived in Florida. Wood says she doesn't want to be apart from her husband in this way and will be moving to that state. Wood expressed gratitude for her time in the state legislature, saying her constituents have supported, challenged, and inspired her time of service, and she's thankful for the trust that they placed in her to represent them. Wood was a strong advocate and sponsor of the post-election audit bill that made it through the Alabama House, but not the Senate this past session. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Did you know that 70% of people experience a potentially traumatic event in their lifetime, and that 6 out of every 100 adults face PTSD every day? Help us bring hope to these survivors by signing up for your Alabama Distinctive PTSD Awareness license plate today. The great thing is you can sign up no matter when your current plate renews, and the first year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at ease.org.
The new members of the Birmingham Waterworks Board have voted to rescind a massive $2.6 million deal with the board's attorney, Mark Purnell. That deal was made by the former board members in a secret meeting that was held to solidify several contracts before a new state law went into effect and new board members were appointed. New board member Jeffrey Brumlow told AL.com that the last-minute contract with Parnell was a slap in the face to ratepayers, and he led the motion to terminate the deal. The new board also voted for a full audit of the previous board's actions. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdis. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Your nightly news begins with Fox 20 News at 9.
We start Fox 20 News at 9 with breaking news.
Putting Montgomery news first. Covering your news from all sides. Fox 20 News at 9 is Montgomery's original 9 p.m. news. Live reports from your community. Don't wait till 10. See what's making news tonight and what you can expect tomorrow. If it's happening in the capital city, it's happening on Fox 20 News at 9. Coverage you can count on.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final hour here of the program. Oh, you got some fans online, Eddie. Oh, Alabama guy says, Eddie. I love how this just became like my generation's the best. Y'all can't say.
Did he use the really large font that we talked about?
You know, you got to be able to see the phone. Oh, welcome back, folks. Welcome back. 272-9228 if you want to join in on the conversation. Are we possibly on the brink of World War III still? It doesn't seem like the Ruskies have yet to respond to the big attack that happened over the weekend, but
I don't think so.
Yeah, and then I guess you got the Trump pushing a hard line on the Iran deal, like no enrichment whatsoever. I kind of like the line he's pushing, but we'll see if they actually bite on that. Have the Chinese gone away with their whole red line about Taiwan?
No.
Yeah, it's like all the tripwires are still there.
Yeah.
I'm in the camp. We're already in it. We're just not going to recognize it.
Not acknowledging it?
Yeah.
Well, and all the worry about finance, it just goes away. Like,
Right.
we're in the middle of
make
war.
some bombs, we're going to make some money.
Is there a video of these planes sliding off this carrier in
I've
India?
seen-
I think there is
I've seen
one.
one
Yeah.
for sure, if not two. Yeah.
Yeah, but
But then a buddy of mine that's ex-Navy guy, and he's older
Mm-hmm.
than me. He said that used to happen on the regular back in the day.
Okay, I was just making sure, there wasn't an engagement and
Oh.
we just lost a couple
No, but that was
planes.
I don't know if you saw the video of the dogfight with India and Pakistan. Was it India and Pakistan?
Mhm.
That was the most modern dogfight, real dogfight I've ever seen in my life.
God help us.
Yeah.
Yeah, like sitting here talking about generations, it's like, damn, we're all in a tough
So,
spot.
so let's go
If
through
this stuff really starts to set off.
Russia's at war with Ukraine. India and Pakistan are at war. China is about to, at any moment.
Israel and Iran get
Yeah.
into it.
So by my
Yeah.
scorecard, that's World War III.
But, it could be Trump just pulls off peace all of a sudden. Who knows?
Who knows?
You just got to believe it. Let's go to James. Hey, James, how you doing?
How you doing, James?
James, you've been very patient. I don't want to hang up on you.
Jimmy?
I think you got Fred.
Oh, is this Fred?
Yeah, you hit 4.
I hit the wrong button?
Uh-huh.
Dadgummit. Hold on. James, I apologize.
It's okay.
You had to go, Joey!
Did he hang up? Did he
Right.
hang up? Okay, I'm here, and I'm going to try to remain, I'm not sure what I'm remaining, civil, peaceful, calm, not emotional.
You sure?
The first thing I heard you say since I've been listening to you driving in from Prattville and sitting here on the phone was, God help us.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was 1913, 50 years before this baby boomer's birth,
Mm-hmm.
when Aldridge got his cohorts on his little black train and then went down to Jekyll Island. That was, like I said, 50 years before my birth. So I didn't have too much to do with that. Obama, Joey, when he did his world tour and he was apologizing for America saving Europe in World War I and World War II,
Mm-hmm.
were you in favor of that?
No.
But And excuse me for going there, but you did vote for him the first time, right?
I did not.
No, it was me.
You did not?
I did not. No.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Excuse me. Throw you under the bus like that. Did you hear me crank it up?
Yeah, that was my first election. I want to go back in the time machine and kick myself in the pills for voting for John McCain.
Oh, my bad.
I wish I just stayed home and got. It's a farce. It's a ruse. Doesn't matter.
I think what you're practicing here, Joey, when you're for lack of a better word, picking on us poor baby boomers. You're practicing group think. All right, and I think we all know who fashions or shapes group think. That would be our government, our media, which is basically the fourth branch of our government, and then those wonderful human beings that we have that are on the left in our universities. Groupthink, I don't think that's good. To you, Joey?
No, but I mean, I would say that is the mark of the boomer generation. It's sort of the hippies took over the institutions.
There you go again. See?
No, but like I can say a lot of millennials in my generation were socialists who voted for Obama. Can you not say that a lot of the new left that came out of the 60s and took over the institutions, marched through the institutions, were the boomer generation?
Earlier, we went off of gold, completely off of gold
71.
in 71.
Yes.
We might as well have been off of it since 13, but I'll give you 71.
Yeah.
Now, my brother, who is a boomer, boomers are, if you Google this, you'll see that boomers were born between 46 and 64. Now, different outlets have different things.
Sure.
But 46 to 64, which includes all of my parents' children, all 6 of us. Okay. Now, in 71, my brother would have been 25. Do you think that was something that he would have preferred at 25 for us to go off gold?
No.
Did he have a whole lot of influence in us going off gold at 25? I don't think so. And, of course, the rest of us were much younger. I mean, I was 8 in 1971. Okay? 8 years old. And what I'm trying to get at is like Eddie tried to get across to you two guys earlier. It's government. And I understand we voted them in, those of us that were voting in 71,
it's not
81,
just government.
91.
It's not just government, man. It's entertainment. It's Hollywood. It's television. It's the universities. It's all the major institutions.
When you say boomers,
Yeah.
you're talking about us poor people here in Alabama and Georgia and Mississippi. And
No, I'm
South
talking about an
Carolina.
era, a generation. And it doesn't mean everybody within that cohort is to blame for it. It's just that was the era.
Sure feels that way.
Yeah, but see, exactly. That's the way, I take it personal when you up here.
That's such a boomer response. It's all about you. You can't take the nuanced view of what I'm saying. It's all about you. And how dare this young whippersnapper come up and say these things?
That's what but see, when you are, for lack of a better word, attacking us poor boomers, then where are you coming from? I mean, are you doing this for the whole group or 2 or 3 groups after us, or is it just for Joey because things are not going like maybe we thought they should have?
No, I'm doing all right.
I
Personally.
understand, Joey. All of us out here, we love you, man. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just saying, your
and we
call
want
is
the best
such
for
a
you.
boomer call, man.
We want the best for you.
Sounds very
Okay.
boomerish. You're not helping your cause.
Now you know where I'm going with this, right, Joey?
I guess.
The 35-year-old twins.
Oh,
Okay.
God, yeah.
And you can have the pretty one.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I just want the one with the money.
Yeah.
You can have the pretty twin, and I'll take the one with the money that wants to make her mom and daddy mad. Believe me when I tell you.
There's a few of them out there.
Hey, Eddie, the offer stands to you, but I know you married.
Yes, sir. Thank God.
But, Joey, did you get the email I sent you, brother?
Yes, I did. And actually, that's a pretty popular theory online. I probably shouldn't, but look up a guy named Curtis Yarvin. He talks about how no matter who wins, we are always moving left.
And you know about how much of that I've read already, right? 0.
Yeah. Oh, no, there are a lot of people that have come to the same conclusion as you.
See, I ain't near as dumb as you think, right?
Don't sell yourself so short.
Dumb isn't the word I would use.
Can we listen? We got that much time? Now, see, just think, if I can make you laugh like that off the cuff, think what I can do with some reasonably well thought out words and, edited words. Not blowing my horn, just words that came out the end of the pen I was holding. Okay?
Okay, I'm just saying every time you call up and talk about the twins thing, I'm like, who needs like a hospital? I just need a call from a boomer and I got a sex change already. Like it fell off. Like I'm done. I'm like, why do you think my hair's grown so long?
I'm not even sure what in the world we're talking about here, Joey.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, when you were talking about things falling off,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Or maybe it contracted in. I don't know.
Maybe what I'm suggesting that you go and find me and you a couple of female twins. How does that? Does that
I had the
challenge
perfect
your
It
man?
completely destroys my libido hearing that idea.
I'm sorry.
That's what I'm getting at.
But I'm encouraging you, putting enough, what would I say, trust, confidence, let's call it trust, that you could go out and find us a couple of twins.
Eddie?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, we must not have been on the air the whole time, Joe. You guys have a nice day, and as they say in old England, ta-ta.
Appreciate it, James.
I had the opportunity, and I sent it to you, I think. I know I sent it to Greg, that this weekend you could probably go meet those twins.
Yeah.
There were some ladies on Lake Martin that are having a ladies' day on Saturday, and they were looking for someone to drive the boat for them. They got a boat and everything.
These are the ones with the web feet. Who needs a boat?
Well, they were looking for someone, and I don't remember exactly, but they were looking for a young man that would be willing to drive them around the lake, bar to bar.
I don't like to drive boats.
Hold on. You were the rickshaw guy. I thought of you instantly. You have experience.
Yeah, and having experience in it, I'm done with doing that.
One and done.
Yeah.
I got you.
Right. Actually, driving rickshaw, the best couples to drive around?
Yeah.
Boomers.
Wow.
Seriously.
Shocker. Who tipped the best?
Boomers. Auburn alum who are kind of slightly well dressed, but it's still a game day, like tailgating. So it's not too well dressed. And they're probably in their 50s, 60s, and they're great. That you can talk to them, and they do have stories of like going to school
Just
here.
enjoying life.
Yes. At the worst, were girls my age or a little older who are dressed to the nines. It's like, well, I got the skirt and the cowboy boots on.
Just got no tip for you though.
Just airing it out over here. It's like, and they wouldn't tip at all.
No, they don't. No.
Yeah. Well, I was in a parade once where right in front of me, the rickshaw had Aubie.
Yeah.
And I had Miss Alabama or Miss Auburn, not Miss Alabama,
Oh,
Miss
really?
Auburn. Yeah. And like, well, did you talk to her? I'm like, no, I'm sitting there pedaling,
Dude, see,
trying not to crash into
I've
the
been
cop
riding
car.
backwards, just talking to her the whole time.
Right.
Would have took a few parade people as I'm trying to ride this bike backwards and talk to Miss Auburn. You might have made a mistake there, Joey. I think you could have handled it. Maybe went down a side street and say, "Let me show you this my secret spot."
272-9228.
Opportunities blown.
Yeah. See, but then also another thing with the boomers, that's like, think about, again, it's not anybody's fault necessarily.
Okay.
But divorce laws become liberalized. And then what? Divorce is like a coin flip?
It's pretty much.
And you think about that. Like, think
true.
about, especially that generation. I'm not blaming people. I'm just saying because those laws are liberalized, that's the generation that experiences that world of you can just quickly get divorced.
Same with the pill.
Yeah, we got a lot of things.
Yes, the pill as well.
is
the big thing to me.
converging now. I mean,
yes.
I'm not going to say divorce is because of liberalization.
It almost
of
seems too
marriage laws.
easy, though.
I mean, it was the collapse of the church at that time, or people turning away from faith.
That's another
too.
good point. Too.
Yes. Yeah.
But you said something earlier talking about who's in charge. I mean, granted, all the baby boomers aren't responsible for
obviously
all this, but the people that were in positions of control in these institutions were predominantly baby boomers.
Yes. And I mean, you had people like Reagan, who isn't technically a boomer, but I mean, a lot of the folks voting for him.
Well, that's part of the reason why the generation below mine is probably more socialist.
And it's kind of like
they didn't have someone like Reagan. Like, he was the first president I remember.
Right.
It wasn't, any of the Bushes, Clinton, none of that. But the younger generation, they were met by politicians that were probably a little less than we would desire conservatively wise.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So if that's all you're exposed to and that's all you know.
It seems like, honestly, through my childhood growing up with, and like I said, I think my first president I really knew was Carter. And I thought, this is our president. This guy's a disaster. I mean, it was just, I couldn't fathom that. But there are times where we get the pendulum swings. We get very conservative, and then this last go round, we went the other way.
James sent me an email, and his basic point is no matter who wins, we're always moving left, where the people who are on the right are actually, they would have been considered on the left 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And that is a very real thing. And imagine, because you think of this pendulum swinging, imagine the number of people who thought when they elect Reagan governor of California, we saved California.
Man, look at California now.
Right.
Yeah.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
Ask ask the Republicans today if they would vote for Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
Overwhelmingly, yes.
Overwhelmingly, yes. Yeah, there's a lot of it. And just the dynamics of all this are complex. It's like, how much do I blame everyday people? I really don't. I think most people, myself included, are spectators.
Oh, we are 100%.
To this big show that is America. And now you're finally starting to see some change. All the things I just mentioned to James, Hollywood, academia, certain, say, institutions within government that were never wrong, never the science, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that's now being challenged. And now you're starting to see a challenge. The big one, the biggest meal, and probably the most complex and the highest stakes is our financial system.
To me, the highest stakes because most people ignorant to the risk that we really have out there.
And you think too, also, like, our pastimes they're still around, like sports. The NFL is still the biggest draw, but even the NFL doesn't have the same push it once did. Like, the times they are changing.
Yep.
And
I don't know if that's true. I think the NFL makes more money today than they did 10 years ago.
They probably make more money,
but do they have the same viewership? I mean, I guess Super Bowl Sunday's still a big deal, and we're not in the right state. College football is king here, obviously.
But with the NFL, they are. And
but even that's changing.
10 years, been trying to go worldwide.
The stories, my boomer uncle, Scott, who, he's at Auburn with the Bo Jackson era.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's such a different time now.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward, like, just, it's still fun to watch, but it's not the same sort of loyalty where it was an amateur sport. It's weird how everything is being unmoored.
Just ruined it. And
though I think Saban is the worst person to come out and speak against it, because then you just see, like, your Shane Gillis's of the world, like, he didn't pay players. They didn't pay players at Alabama.
Yeah, but everybody can pay him now.
You're right. Say he's not the best spokesman to criticize it.
Everybody. That's the problem, Joey.
Oh, man. Anyway.
Keep it down home, cuz.
922. Well, this all started with something has to give here. It really does require, Trump built it. It requires a multi-generational coalition that has actually said, we're ready to take our medicine. Problem is, I don't think anybody does.
I agree with you on that.
That's the problem we face.
We still got a good portion of our society that's looking for the next free meal. They're not willing to do what it takes to move our society in general forward. They're looking how I can leech off of it.
We got a whole group of generations that can't remember what they demanded 3 weeks ago. Like, I mean, where we'll get so emotional and so irate over something and, let enough time pass and
not a big deal.
Well, and just to bring this back home, in all seriousness, the boomer generation is the first ones that I think first get true mass marketing. You have advertising, you have stuff early after the Industrial Revolution, but the true mass marketing, the first generation to really get that were the boomers. The first generation that really has the things like the pill, liberalized marriage law, like the whole sexual revolution that is sort of ushered in. Like, there's a lot of things that were changed.
Music.
There's just so many things. Hollywood, like, blows up like big time. And again, you could say there was a golden age once and whatnot, but I'm saying there were very unique things that never really happened in human history that happened to the boomer generation.
The only thing
I feel bad for some folks.
I think mass marketing was
been around a while
before that. I mean, radio. I mean, what was the
but when you actually see a product, like to me in movies now, you don't see commercials in movies, of course, but you see product placement, which is nothing but a commercial. Back in the 70s, and a lot of your TV shows used to have that product placement, whether it was packed cigarettes or was a particular vodka they were drinking.
Well, and I would say sophisticated, because there was, like, Bernays and stuff very early in the 20th century. Edward Bernays is talking about the tricks to propaganda and marketing. A lot of your propaganda techniques that show up in the fascist experience and the communist experience would show up in this country as well. I think, though, that's a little different because that generation is so easy. There really are. It's kind of amazing. Go watch old propaganda, say war films of World War II or World War One. Well, it was as simple. It's like World War One is like the Hun is coming to kill and rape your sister.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I got to go fight that crowd.
If they put it on the screen, it must be real.
And same thing with the radio. Whereas I think the boomers are the ones that start to get the even more sophisticated, the subconscious manipulation that is going on. And it's all kept up speed. I'm sure we can look back at Gen Z and the folks that are getting an iPad when they're 5 years old. They're going to have a whole other ball of problems. So we'll see. I'm trying to think through that. The boomer generation does go through, I think, unique things that had never really happened before. Not to say the Industrial Revolution wasn't unique either, but
I think to that point, they were exposed to more visual propaganda at greater quantities.
No doubt.
Yes, I agree.
I'll agree with that.
Anyway, we got to hit another break. First, this part of the program, again, brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. And at Dillon Rings, they really are ready to help you out in anything you might need when it comes to, well, that jewelry of yours. Could be you're looking for a custom design, like a truly unique piece of jewelry. Well, Josh Ryder can do that for you. Maybe you're looking for some everyday jewelry that still looks beautiful, doesn't break the bank. Or it could be it's time to buy something really nice. So if they've got the inventory there, Leslie puts that together. Of course, they can also do repairs, spa treatments. They will buy gold, silver, platinum, old jewelry that you just aren't using. Like you haven't thought of it till you just heard me talking about it. It's just in the drawer somewhere. They'll look at that. They'll do appraisals. They do it all. Watch repairs, watch battery replacements. A full service jewelry shop there at Dillon Rings. So y'all check them out today. Just stop by 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery. That's just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Since 1966, Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches has been more than just a place to stay. It's been a place to belong. For children facing hardships through no fault of their own, our ranches provide more than shelter. We offer a warm home, a loving family, and a future filled with hope. With open arms, we welcome these young hearts, giving them the love, structure, and guidance they need to heal, grow, and thrive in a warm Christian environment. Together, we can give Alabama's children the chance they deserve, a chance to dream, to succeed, and to feel truly cherished. Every donation stays within Alabama, directly impacting the lives of the children who need it most. Join us in making a difference. Visit AlabamaSheriff'sYouthRanches.org. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and download our app from your app store. We'd be honored to have you as a part of our mission to lift up Alabama's youth. And remember this, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Recently, I met with 3 different owners of homes who had the same problem. They wanted to sell their house quick and sell it as is for cash. All 3 people were approached by different investors that said they had cash for their home, signed contracts, only to find out they were not personally going to buy their homes, but to find a buyer willing to pay more than they offered and pocket the difference. It's called wholesaling. Offer a contract to buy a house at a certain price, up to price to other buyers, and pocket the difference. I urge you, don't fall for it. You want to sell your home quick, use a licensed professional realtor, as I have been for 48 years, keeping promises to get homes sold quick. For all the details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225. Call Bo Goodson at 221-2883.
I'm Jim Smith with Adams Drugs, and what our customers say about our business is the most important advertising tool. I'm here with Ronnie Taunton, who is a longtime customer of Adams Drugs, moved away for 3 years, and came back to town recently. Ronnie, how easy was it to move your business back to Adams Drugs?
Jim, it was very easy. All we did was make a phone call to the store in Prattville. That's where we live now, and they took it from there, and I didn't do anything else.
What has your overall experience been like here at Adams Drugs?
Well, we are glad to be back with Adams. We've had quite an experience in some towns we lived in, and they have great service. You can tell that the employees are glad to be there to serve you, and I couldn't ask for any more. Whatever formula the Vinson family has, they need to keep it in a safe place because it's certainly working.
Come into any of our 12 Adams Drugs locations. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net to find the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Wake it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing.
Hey, this is Robbie Clark. Stay cool with a spring tune-up with Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing. Don't wait. Schedule today. Give us a call at 334-277-2125. Alabama certification number 09098.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. This is Rich Thomas. Our forecast is starting to evolve with a little bit more humidity coming in and some Atlantic moisture. I think we're dry tonight with the overnight low temperature down to about 70, but then for tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, there will be random afternoon pop-up showers and storms. You know the deal. Not every town gets wet, but some towns can get very drenched. High temperatures Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the upper 80s. I think will be 90 or above over the weekend. But be flexible with your weekend plans. The numbers of storms on the radar Saturday and Sunday will be a little bit higher. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Well, real quick, Elon Musk is just, he can't stand it anymore. That's literally what he tweeted a couple hours ago. He says, quote, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it." Oh, damn. So we might actually get an Elon Trump fight here. Yeah. Well, y'all leash Doge, so I'm on Elon's side on this one.
Yep.
Let's go to Fred. Hey, Fred, how you doing?
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm going to spank you a little bit, Joey. I already got your cohort there. You know, when people call you, don't you want to talk to them? I mean, I've been Beth Montgomery 45 minutes ago, and I've been sitting here listening to you back and forth, where you had James on there, and I'm a boomer, so I guess you're getting a boomer spanking again. Because what I called about was something you said right before 2, and I said, y'all are just now learning about that, and you'll continue to learn about it. Every cohort is always in their first level past their parents, is always always liberal and wants everything tentative because parents have been raising them that way. They hadn't had to be paying all the bills. But it's funny, when they get up to be about 40 to 45, they start saying, you know, Mom and Dad, they raised me to have to be self-sufficient, so I got to be self-sufficient. And they learn to become more conservative. And when people start spending all their money by taxing the hell out of them, then they say, I'm going to become a lot more conservative to do that. So right now, Mr. Millennial, because I have 3 millennial children too, and I'm watching them change. And one of my daughters hates it when I say, isn't that circle of life karma of the B word? Because you're going to see it when you grow around. And I don't know if you have kids. I can't remember. I don't think you are. But if you have kids and they get to be in their 20s, they're going to be gimme, 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 and expect you to gimme, gimme, gimme. But then when they get to be 40 and people quit giving, gimme, gimme to them, and they have to get out and earn it, then they start realizing, well, I'm going to be real selective with who takes my money. And that's why they get more active, kind of knock things out. But anyway.
No, I think you're no, it's
sorry I
fine.
fussed at you. But,
No,
you
it's
know,
fine.
hey,
The fussing's fine. I think you're generally right that people begin more liberal and become more conservative over time. And I don't even mean that politically. I think you're right in just how the practical
life, yeah.
aspect of life. But but then there are plenty of young, let's say, political conservative people, especially these days.
yeah, I agree. Well, it's kind of like you, Joey. You know, you were libertarian. You said earlier how you're kind of modifying it a little bit. Libertarians are kind of conservatives with a little more liberal bend to them sometimes. Okay, I got that. But, you know, come on over. But it's warm in the conservative house. Come on over.
Well, hold on. Libertarians are conservatives.
Well, no, it depends on who you're talking about.
Fiscally, they're conservative.
It depends on who you're like. Libertarianism is like a little microcosm of the rest of the country. You have the libertarians are like, I want to do psychedelics and have all this weird sex, and then you have libertarians that are some of the strongest devout Christian conservatives you've ever seen. So, I mean, it sort of is this weird microcosm of the rest of the world.
But economically, do you know of any liberally economic?
No, they're not socialists.
Okay.
That's just crazy.
Right. So we are on the right side of the spectrum there.
There you go.
You know, I believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Amen.
You know.
Here, here.
So, you know, that's what we were founded on, you know, when they wrote the Declaration of Independence. You know, and those rights are provided by God, not by a God of government.
Amen.
You know, and I agree, you know, sometimes people on the conservative side, I mean, it's like right now, you know, Trump is acting like he's conservative, but he's not as conservative as some of the people we have up there, and he needs to listen to some of them. I mean, I agree kind of with Ron Paul, you know, we've got to start cutting back. We can't keep spending what we're spending.
Yes.
Because when you give the tax increases, that means less tax money, and if you keep that spending going, how are you gonna pay for it?
There you go.
It's
the truth.
Well,
that's what it gets down to.
Well, Fred, I appreciate your patience. I really do.
Well, you're welcome. Just don't let it happen.
I've been warned. Thank you, Fred.
Thanks, Fred.
Bye.
272-9228. Hey, real quick, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and they're at Pest Pro Ashley, and that fantastic team are ready to help you out with that basic pest control needs. I mean, they do a monthly subscription now, so it's like on a regular schedule, and you can just do that basic level of pest control protection. But of course, you build a relationship with them. Say something comes up like a huge wasp's nest or hornet's nest out back, or God forbid, aren't there ones that are subterranean?
Yes, Joey.
Woo.
Yeah.
Like the dog gets into them or something.
And then you go over and see what's wrong with the dog, and you get stung.
You start running away. Yeah. Like, and they don't give up. I thought they would give up. No, so they can help you out with those sorts of things. Of course, they can also do year-round protection for termites, yearly inspections for termites, and they do mosquito treatment. So if you actually want to enjoy your property without those mosquitoes, which are out in force right now, eating you up, well, just check out Pest Pro Services today. Call them up. Now, you can always learn more if you want to, you're that type of person, research more, ppsriverregion.com, or just go to Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces, very active Facebook page. But you can call them direct at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell them that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you. Let's go to Clint. Hey, Clint, how you doing?
What's up, Clint?
Hey, I got some criticism for you, boys.
All right.
Yeah. You ready?
Okay.
If you can handle the truth.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys talk too much between yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. And you want me on that wall. That old boy said a few good men. You know.
Did
want people
did
like
you
me
order
to
the
listen
code
to
red?
callers.
Did you order the
So
code
your
red?
job depends on people like me.
Okay, man.
You don't get no callers, you ain't got a job. You be flipping at Burger King or McDonald's. You want
They are
fries
hiring,
with that?
They are hiring.
Yeah, people listen for the callers. Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm. Some of them.
I mean, you're there to take the calls, to get on a topic, whatever topic you pick.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't stay on topic when you call, you don't need to talk to that person. That's in my opinion.
Okay.
Only my opinion. And I love you guys. I listen every day. But sometimes you tee me off.
Well, now I think I'm doing my job.
Right.
I appreciate it, Clint.
All right, have a good day.
You too. Let's go to Duke. Really get people riled up. Hey, Duke.
What up, Duke?
What's going on, fellas?
Another day, man.
Every day, chicken must have the chicken bill. Put a little salt on the chicken still.
That's right.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So what you're saying to us is the real conservatives are the ones who vote for the bill, according to Elon. I got his name here.
Elon Musk, yeah, he's saying that this is ridiculous. Shame on you who voted for it.
But the true conservatives out of the state of Alabama, you got Tuberville, you got Katie Britt bragging on TV about how good this bill is, that they got some special there for the women with babies and kids and stuff. And come on now.
No, they're wrong.
Huh?
They're wrong.
So these not the true conservatives that voted for this bill, what you're saying to us.
It's like a relative term. Seriously, like, you think Coach Tuberville's a lib?
No.
I don't know what he is.
Right.
They're a politician.
Future governor of Alabama, that's what
they
he
say-
is.
They tell us that they're not a politician, but when you sign your name on a dotted line to be a police officer, you're a police officer with that uniform on.
This is true. This is true, Duke.
You're a politician, you're a politician when you put that necktie on.
Well, and I was about to say to Fred that the more I do this, I think libertarian, conservative, liberal, all this stuff, a lot of these labels just don't, at the end of the day, practically speaking, mean squat. Like it is all about the power dynamics within the parties. And they often do things, if you're a Democrat, that aren't very liberal, and they do things that Republican aren't very conservative. And it's just what can be practically done in the moment. And they constantly sell us on these values that they are very ready to jettison when they've got to make a decision. And it's just the way the world is, unfortunately. I wish we lived in a world where things like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness wasn't necessarily a political phrase. It was just the way people live. It's just like what matters is how you live your life in your own household with your friends and all these other things. It's not necessarily who you vote for. That should be very low on the list of what's important.
Yeah.
But that's not the world we live in.
Then, Joe, I need to go ahead and get this on there before I slide on off here, sir.
Okay.
I heard you act like your feelings was hurt this morning because you said when you asked them a question and they don't answer the question. So how long this been going on?
Oh, for a long time, sir. Long time.
Oh, you woke up this morning, all of a sudden you got your feelings hurt because they've been lying to you all this time.
All of a sudden, all of a sudden, have you not been listening to me for years?
Well, you got very emotional about it this morning.
No, I was thinking about it because this election's coming up, and I'm girding my loins, so to speak.
You sounded like you had water in your eyes, so for crying a little bit there.
Were you crying, Joey?
Well, I mean,
see,
you're sniffing a little bit.
You had to bring it out, dude.
I mean, Duke, like, I try to keep it in, but
you had to bring it out.
You know, life.
Had to bring it
out. Life is good. You eat duck eggs and stuff, and you try all the wonderful things in the world, and you get the good sexy time with a good woman, and you get the good a body that's good looking, you look good naked, and it's not enough. It never works. None of it.
Joey Day.
Hey, Joe, you're starting to sound a little bit like Katie Britt a little bit. I'm gone.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
That was good. That was good.
272-9228. 334-272-9228. Speaking of Katie Brett.
Yeah?
Here's her in Lurch. I mean, John Fetterman.
How is the Fedster?
Well, let's listen in.
Stories where children were pushed to ending their lives because of the kinds of pressure and the bullying online. It's incredibly dangerous, and it's entirely appropriate for us to take a lead, to just, as parents and as senators, to just label it exactly what it is.
Exactly what it is. 21st century online bullying. And it needs to stop. It absolutely needs to stop. And if everyone could be a little kinder, a little more thoughtful about what they post, I certainly think that this would be a better place, but it would most definitely be a better environment for our kids.
So no more crap posting, all you edgelords. The senators are on it, and it's all for the children.
We need to put a label on it.
Yeah, warning label.
So what do you think? Does one person out there think that this label is going to do anything?
I think it's like $55 million to the Federal Trade Commission to smack these warning labels and links to mental health help.
Scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. Will do no good. I remember in the record business when they stuck those labels on there and they had all those trials. It was ridiculous. Nothing good came of that except showing morons in this country.
Well, also, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I will. Like, it'd be a lot better world. Everybody was posting nicer things, except when you're running for office and you dig up your main opponent, Mike Durant's story about he's essentially didn't do enough when his sister was molested.
Yep. I'm so sick of the holier than that.
But let's be decent to one another. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Your nightly news begins with Fox 20 News at 9.
We start Fox 20 News at 9 with breaking news.
Putting Montgomery news first. Covering your news from all sides. Fox 20 News at 9 is Montgomery's original 9 p.m. news. Live reports from your community. Don't wait till 10. See what's making news tonight and what you can expect tomorrow. If it's happening in the capital city, it's happening on Fox 20 News at 9. Coverage you can count on.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back.
This part of the program, before we forget, we usually talk to Ray Bowles, but he's busy.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely daughter going off to college, so they're at a parents' day.
Nice for them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, he claimed he'd rather be working yesterday, but I bet he's enjoying himself more than he'll let on publicly. But at Prattville Carpet, they're still busy. They're still working. They're ready to help you with any new flooring resurfacing job you need. Brand new carpet, traditional hardwood, maybe a ceramic tile, resurface the kitchen countertop or backsplash or redo the bathroom. Before too long, it's going to get cold again.
Yes. Joey.
You're like, oh, that's months away. Yeah, but then you'll be wondering, I should have gotten those heated floors there. Like, why would you sell that in the middle of the summer? Because this is the time to do it, to think ahead, not before it's like whoo in the morning when you step on that ceramic tile. Point is, they will come to you. Just call them up at 285-8117. They'll do a free in-home measurement. You pick out the product you want to use to resurface. Now also doing those great epoxy floors, like say you want to redo the garage and stuff. It's amazing what they can do there at Prattville Carpet. Again, that number, 285-8117. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie and Byron, those fellows on the radio, sent you. So what did we learn today? Well,
we talk too much.
Yeah. But we love y'all all the same.
Shut up. You talk too much.
It's kind of literally in the job description. Yeah. But I think part of my outburst today, I mean, I was trying to make some nuanced points, but you know how many years I had to sit here and listen to Greg Budell snipe at millennials? Year after year, and all you boomers call in and just dogpile, and millennials don't want to work hard. Millennials don't want to do this.
Okay, keep going. You got some truths going there.
Mm-hmm.
Millennials don't want to work hard.
They don't want to pay their dues. They don't want to. Yeah, they're a bunch of fruity socialists who are probably playing with themselves while they're voting for Obama, the Messiah, Barack Hussein Obama.
Beta soy.
He wasn't even born here. I heard it for years.
Still true.
He ain't wrong.
Oh, God, man. What a weird world. But yeah, I think Rand Paul's right. I think Elon Musk is right.
So can you tell me
think this big beautiful bill is crap?
Can you give me, because I've heard big beautiful bill so much now I don't remember what's even
in it. It's no tax on tips. They got that in there.
Social Security.
Nope, they capped that at a $4,000 deduction. Because all these other blue states want to have their salt deduction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about USAID? Still funded?
If I remember, I thought I saw something in there that was one of the big things.
We'll do that rescission.
Yeah. Down the
Doge.
road. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, there is a 10-year moratorium on any states passing any AI restrictions, and it will be the feds running the show there.
I don't know if I trust that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think this is better than what Biden and team were bringing us, but there might be some methods to that madness. But there's a lot of stuff in it is the problem. That this is, as Elon put it, pork laden.
Yeah.
And there are so many different little things in it that, they're not getting in the headlines.
That's what I'm saying.
And it doesn't really cut too much. And you might be like, if you're Scott Bessent, well, we don't want to cut too fast because it'll hurt
we can add back.
Because we're like junkies. And if you do go cold turkey, we might die.
Nope, we won't.
Because of the boomer finance.
But we're going to start counting our trees on our GDP numbers. So everything should equal out, right? We're going to start doing sand because we're going to sell all the sand for glass later on.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Monetizing the, say, balance sheet of the nation, all the underlying assets. Yeah. Actually, I kind of get a kick out of watching Doug Burgum. I like that guy. I liked him on the debate stage. I like him at where he's at now. I like Doug Burgum. That guy's cool. He should be the next president. Screw you, JD.
Woof.
I'm just in a mood today. Anyway, we got to get out of here. Happy Hour with Greg Budell and Pamela there next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.